I clicked the live button, the enter broadcast button, and the dogs are barking. Now, unfortunately, they're barking upstairs. They're not down here with me. So, welcome everybody to a live stream on my channel. I know I rarely do them. I'm not even shaved today. This was a bit of an impromptu thing. I had several topics that I wanted to cover now they're down here barking in videos, and I just didn't have the time. And I was like, by the time I get these done and edited, and it'll be days, and it'll be too late. So, so that's where I am here, and with the dogs barking and the like. And I'm gonna see if I can find this. It's very strange when I do these, even when I do the fan cast, the way that God bless. Why is everything so slow? I even closed the game I was playing. I've been playing Civilization way too long, and I don't know. But anyway, hey, Chris Wicks, how's it going? You're on time for once. Yeah, like I said, this is a bit of an impromptu thing. I had several topics I want to cover. I have asked several members of the fan cast, anybody else wants to join in this live stream, but I haven't heard from anybody. Like I said, it was just like, I'll just do this. I was going to do it at 7:30, but that wasn't going to work. And I was even late for this one. But here's what we got. So there's some sad stuff I'm going to cover with Emily Hartridge that I found out today about, which was oh my gosh, he's literally right at my feet, right? Shush. Quiet. The other thing is, and I don't know how good this is. I'm doing all right. So this is a 2017 beer. I have several of these, and I was opening some of them, and I don't know. I don't know if they've stored well. These, I've had some of these that have been 5 or 6. I've even had some that were 5 and 6 years old, and it was clear before I put it in the refrigerator, and now you can't see through it. But I don't know. I'm letting it slightly warm up, and we'll see how that goes. That's also part of what I'm going to cover. And the other thing is this is why I was hoping MJ could at least hop in for a few minutes. She and Pete. So I got my box of samples and stuff. So I'm going to do an unboxing of sorts. Now I don't have a fancy camera like a lot of these other guys do stuff. This is just the camera, my 9-year-old iMac. Let's see if I can get this a little centered better. And I need spotlights over here or something. Jeez, Toby. He is unbelievably a noisy dog for 38 pounds. But so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and share this. Let's see if it'll work. I have this in another browser. So this was Emily Hartridge. I was a subscriber to her channel years ago. She was like over 100,000 subs. I think apparently she's about 355 now or something like that. And because I found her about the time she was starting to do more fitness oriented videos as opposed to her 10 reasons why. Now she's been on a show. Apparently she had an Oh Shit I'm 30 show on the BBC. And she always seemed to have, I never could figure out how much of it was shtick and how much was real. If she was constantly changing boyfriends, or she'd be on vacation with some guy or a group of people, and then she said she liked women, and then I saw she had something with another guy. So I don't know if she was back and forth. I don't know. And so somewhere along the line, just kind of got tired of it. And I used to subscribe to a bunch of YouTube channels until I decided to try and be a little bit more serious with mine. And I don't know if subscribing to channels helps you or hurts you. I really haven't been able to figure that out. And I've gone back and forth, and I've gotten rid of stuff, unsubscribed from people, resubscribed. And of course, sometimes YouTube just unsubscribes people. So, anyway, but apparently she was involved in an electric scooter crash, and I guess that's Battersea. I don't know. The English pronounce things oddly sometimes. Southwest London on Friday. My understanding, she was in a roundabout and got hit by a truck. Or they would say a lorry. Now I was trying to find an article that I found earlier today, and this one doesn't seem to be it either. Because they announced it on her Instagram. I'm sure someone was able to get a hold of her Instagram thing. There she is. She is rather tall. She's like 6 feet tall. She has 3 sisters. There's a set of twins. Charlotte, I think, is the oldest one. She's the one I actually like the most. But anyway, so here's some scenes, some pictures from but my understanding is I don't know if it's just in London or if it's in England, e-scooters are not I don't know how people even have them, because from what I was reading, you can't ride them on what they would say the pavement or the road. Pavement being the side, what we would call sidewalks here in the States. So some places will call it pavement as well, especially in the Northeast. So I don't know if you can only do it on bike paths. It looks like she was in the street. She was wearing a helmet. Now, for people in the States who aren't familiar with roundabouts or traffic circles, you may not understand the rules, and they can be quite intimidating if you don't know who has the right of way. So anyway, there's a bit more about stuff that she's done in the past. She pretending to be pregnant. I don't know what that is, but anyway, it's a sad time, and I know she's had a lot of followers. I remember on one of her videos quite a while ago, she was talking to one of her sisters, one of the twins, and I can never remember which one lived with her. For a while, I was actually able to tell them apart, and now I got dogs growling at my feet. She was hoping that she was, her goal was to have 1 million subscribers. Essentially, she wanted to be a fitness influencer for 1 million people. And some of the things that I liked about some of the stuff she was doing to fitness at the time, anyway, was she was getting at what she called out of the gym. So she's doing all kinds of crazy things, different climbing and I think pole dancing and all kinds of different types of workout pieces. And now let's see if I can remove that from my live stream. Now this one's going to be a little weirder. Maybe. Can I just transfer that? I think part of why everything was so slow is so many of those sites that I was on, they've got so much crap running in the background. So I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I had that in Chrome. Normally I do this stuff in Firefox with an ad blocker, and sites actually load a little bit more quickly. So let me see if I and I don't want to play her videos here, but her 10 Reasons Why was a pretty big hit for a long time. I did see she got kind of crunched by YouTube twice. So when Google bought YouTube, YouTube was bleeding cash, and one of the first things they did not too many months afterwards is they cut rates a lot. And a lot of big YouTubers who had serious income, and she was one of them, basically they saw their income cut in half. So I remember her talking about that, and of course the adpocalypse, and some of her 10 Reasons Why. I mean, they were geared towards young women, in their 20s and early 30s. They're not for 9-year-olds. So some of the topics were pretty risque, and why you should have sex with your ex. Yeah. So that's 6 years ago. 24 million views. You can see popular uploads, and as like many people, the more popular uploads are the older ones. I mean, I have an exception. I have one this year that got over 500,000 views, but and they were demonetized, and she was lamenting, how this was kind of the beginnings of some of the free speech issues and stuff like that. So, but this was her latest one. I think I hit videos. How did I find that she died? So I started watching this one. And I started looking in the comments and let them load here. And I've got plugins and crap that show me all this other information. So I used to watch her video. I randomly picked up her today, and it was for some reason I was like, I wonder what Emily Hart's up to. And I did a search, and then I found out, and people were saying R.I.P. R.I.P. And I'm like, what in the world? And so then I did a search and found out she was killed in an accident. So, anyway, I just wanted to just kind of take a few minutes. I didn't want to make. I felt maybe I make a whole video, maybe I don't. But I'm not a huge. I was a fan, I guess you could say, of sorts, and then a lurker from time to time. And but I applauded what she was doing, and it doesn't have to always agree with what she was saying or anything. But she made a lot of effort to do well with her audience, and she connected with a lot of people, and was probably making a difference for quite a few folks out there, especially with fitness and being tall and lanky, and for girls that are tall, that can be probably and I understand, they don't want to be taller than the guys and all that other stuff. So she was like 6 foot or 6'1", somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly. It's been too long. Yeah, I don't know, Chris. And it may be one of these things where, now see, you guys are there in Australia too. You drive on the other side. So in the UK and in Australia, you're going to be going, well, if I do it this way, it looks like clockwise. But to me, I'm doing what they call anti-clockwise, or we call counterclockwise. So you enter and go around. No, it'd be clockwise. We go counterclockwise. I'm sorry. And but yeah, I don't know if they turned and she was coming up beside him. I know in the UK they also have things called magic roundabouts. They have some really crazy. They have mini roundabouts. They got a bunch of different types. And so the driver is going to be on the right hand side of the truck, and if she's on the outside, say in a smaller lane like a bike lane or something, and maybe can't clear that driver can't clear that far looking over their left shoulder because they're going to turn off of it onto a street, and I'm guessing that's probably what happened. And I know that sometimes in those roundabouts there'll be multiple lanes, and you'll have like a bike lane, and you'll have some, and so that can be tough. But yeah, it's not, it's only been like 3 or 4 days, and yeah, clockwise. And so far the only real, I mean, other than those images, the only real stuff I've had from the police is that they're not legal. So but they don't stop people from doing it. So, but at least she had a helmet on, but I mean, it didn't save her life, but at least there was a conscious effort for some level of safety. But and I don't know how big a lorry, I don't know the speed limit of the area, whatever else. So anyway, but, yeah, it's a good way to the right. And we actually do now. Obviously I learned to drive in Germany, and it's similar here in the States. It's like a 4-way stop or something. You're yielding to the car on your right, the vehicle on your right, if the roads are equal. So when I was in Germany, learned to drive in a roundabout, the vehicles in the roundabout had the right of way. So it's similar to us when we're, say, entering a highway or an interstate. Yeah, you're to the right of the traffic, but you're not in the main flow of the road, and those roads aren't equal. So you have to yield and have a yield sign. Now here in the Midwest, people don't know what in the world a yield sign means. And if you look back and start slowing down so you can have, find a slot to get in, someone will probably slow down and you get really confused. It's just really annoying. The Midwest drivers they got their headed so far up their butts, they don't know what they're doing. They also don't know. They drive slower in the rain than they do the snow. Something I've noticed recently, which just drives me nuts. This is also why you see them zipping off the road in the snow. It's not odd around where I am, where we have roads where there's a lot of runoff, and it goes up a little hill and stuff. You'll see these long trails in the snow because some idiot went off. But and then in the rain they'll drive like it's ice. They still hit each other. Don't know how. Of course, I drive a front-wheel drive car, and it's with a stick shift, and I just downshift and actually go faster to an extent because I'm just putting more torque on the front wheels. But yeah, people don't know how to drive. So, Emily Hart, and it sounds so cheap to say my thoughts and prayers, but I mean it is. I mean, to her family and everything, and I think she had a brother. I think there was a brother in there too. I'm not sure, but like I said, it's been years since I've really, really watched her channel and kept up with what was going on there. And I might just go subscribe, just, I don't know, for old time's sake or something. I don't know. But, and so I'm hoping we find out some more details and it leads some more safety stuff. Of course, there'll be someone who want to pass a law, but they were already banned, But, the cops in the UK are too busy chasing after people with mean tweets. So they can't be arsed to do much of anything else. So, if you mean tweet in the UK, they're going to come knock your door down and throw you in jail. But my golly, go stab people and they won't do shit. So I'm gonna actually open this now. Well, I don't know. It's still cold. I've had it in the refrigerator for days. Maybe I'll just do my unboxing. So, all right. And I meant to have. Let me open that other thing, just in case. So I don't know why I stopped my screen share. Now I got to figure out how to do this all over again. Benefits of supplements. What? Egg? What are you chewing on? Sorry, one of the dogs is chewing something. So anyway, this is the brand that apparently MJ, if you were if you heard the fan cast from last night, MJ was on. She represents this. We actually talked about this. So I got my box today. And I have what is supposed to be a sample pack. So they do a deer antler supplement too. I'm going to have to try that. I know one of my most popular videos for supplements is the deer antler review I did, which was okay. Actually, I know it did some work, but it really would give me headaches as well. But it wasn't cheap, and it tastes like awful stuff. And there's a lot of buzz going back and forth on the internet as whether or not it does anything. But I'm in my 50s now, so maybe it'll actually be a lot better for me. So here is the box, and what I don't know is how many samples. This was like $8 to get it sent to me. I'm hoping it's more than one. I don't know, but I have a free sticker. It's pink. I don't know why. So that came in there. So here's a sample. So we have the Windows sticker pink workout. So it looks like 3 colors and the shaker, the blue raz, the watermelon, and the blood raz. And so I will be doing, maybe I can do it tomorrow. I'll be doing a video about how good this is. So enjoy 20% off. I got 20% off my first order. That's cool. And so let me show the shaker. Take it out of the bag. What do I do with my scissors? There's not a whole lot of room here, so. So there's their logo. This now it doesn't show up there as it's actually kind of a charcoal gray, semi-translucent. And this is what I was hearing in the in the thing. Now, see, obviously, if this was a video upstairs where I have spotlights and everything else, it'd be easier to see. So this is gonna be interesting. My wife's out of town. When she gets back, she'll be like, "Well, what are you throwing away?" Well, I'll throw away some of my other crap. So I'm gonna take this and put it in my desk drawer because I want to toss the box. Oh, actually, I put the box in recycled. I don't know if I can. Yeah, that just goes in the trash. So we've got blood raz, and down here focus, pump, strength, and growth. GH. There's no way in crap I'm going to be able to read the back of that down here. I need bright light, and down here there just isn't enough, and it's well past the light. The sun is set. Well, probably a while ago. Over here, there's a window that I can open when the sun's right. The problem is it's ground level, and if my neighbors are out mowing their yard, that's all you'll hear. Okay, Dozer, go lay down. Zach was supposed to let you out. What are you chewing on? All right, the dogs are doing something. This is the watermelon, so it's got a green label. And the blue raz. All right. So as you can see, this is what I got. The pre-workout, it's this one right here. It's bucked up. It's all bucked up. Looks like they got a zillion flavors. And let's see if I can read any of the particulars of, here we go. So, all right. So it's 30, looks like $50 for a container. So about $1.50 US per serving. So you've got taurine and estrogen. I don't know what that is. So you have 200 milligrams of caffeine, but how much? Oh, citrulline malate, 6 grams. So that is, most of the research that I've been able to do says that is a full medical dose. I can get away with 3 actually. And there's actually a new, I did a review of Lit last year and I really like it. And there's now a Lit AF, which is not cheap. I think it's like $70 or something. But I mean, if I could get more people subscribing to my account, maybe I could afford it. But and it has, so the old one has 3 grams and the new one has 6, and then it also has like 300 milligrams of caffeine or something. So but there you go. So there's the information. So there's the, I guess that's the stick packs. I guess that's the pre-workout stick packs is what I've got. And I got a sample. So they're $3 a piece normally, looks like. No, it's a 5-pack. So, okay. So 12. So there you go. I guess if you want the convenience and take it with you and then throw it in some water as opposed to this. So, I mean, I usually, go from house to the gym. So that's okay. So 4.8, out of 5, 184 views. Looks like people like it. Gets me in the zone to kill my training. Yeah, I've got to get, my mind has been just, I've been in the lazy mode now for so many months. It's tough to get back. But they've got protein powder. They got all kinds of stuff. Oh, and they got woke AF too. I don't know what that means. Not for beginners, rookies, or people who curl in the squat. So what is this thing's breakdown? So again, 6 grams. So it's 6 grams. I mean, 6 milligrams of citrulline malonate. It's got more beta alanine. It's got more caffeine, taurine. I don't know. Maybe this is what I need now that I'm old and slow. So there we go. But anyway, thanks Pete and MJ for the code to get these. I mean, it's free, and then I had to pay shipping, so that was $8. But I got a free shaker out of it. So then that's what I will use this. I'll clean this and I'll use it tomorrow. Because I'm gonna definitely shoot a before, hit it and then go, and then maybe I'll do some kind of taste test or something with the other flavors. I don't know. All right, so that is that, and let me go remove that completely. And I think that's it. And then, so the other thing I really wanted to cover, this is so goofy doing this by myself. I don't know how Cecil does it. Although he has people that show up sometimes for his live stream. I invited people, but no one. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go put that. All right. So Chris Wicks, I hope you're still there, man. I'm not ignoring you. I know it's a lot of dead air right now, but I'm gonna go advertise. I'm gonna go advertise this. Is it available clockwise? Is it available in Oz? I don't know. Hold on just a second. Oh, there's Anna. Anna's pink. Let me bring that back up. Yeah, and I've got to order some stuff from a company. It's Muscle Nation. I think they're in Australia. That's not it. I can't spell them. That's .org. Huh. Bucked up. Let's see. Made in USA. Well, their products are also at GNC, Vitamin World, the Vitamin Shop, and Complete Nutrition. I know they all sell stuff online as well. It doesn't say. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing says where it's only available, although there's a live chat. So we want to know is if this is available. Are your products there? I'll ask for you, man. They got some kind of customer support thing. I'm sure it's a bot, but if it comes back, and I got something binging in my ears. I'm banned for making a new account. I'm doing something. Everybody's doing something on a Friday. Oh, wait a minute. We do ship to Australia, yes. Is there anything else I can help you with today? So there you go, man. I will put the link here. I'll just add it to the chat, but I will add it to the description. A shredding program starting. So I'm guess is that 95 kilos, I imagine, right? So that's I can't do that math in my head. That's almost almost 200 pounds, 190. I don't know. I don't. What do I do with my bottle opener? In the meantime, I've got all kinds of noises buzzing in my head because I got on Messenger on Facebook. Please let me know if you have any further assistance. Have a great day. Okay. I was really hoping they would make something of one of my listeners. See, this does not smell good. Now, this looks better than the last one I poured, but it shouldn't be this cloudy. So this is why I think this thing is oxidizing. And when I put it, or it's just a chill haze, but I would not expect a chill haze from a commercial beer, especially something this big. Now that smells like a barley wine. Now it's an IPA at first, and it gets more golden. I wish I had because it's not this deep gold, this color, this almost brown. Now, that is my older 2017 bottle. This is from March. I have another bottle that I bought later that year. In fact, I had a 4-pack, and I've thrown 3 of them out. This one I wrote on here, but on the bottle of the neck of the bottles, and of course something that I can't read except in bright light. It says the date that it was bottled, and I don't remember. I know I looked at it. It was like the 5th of March or something. But it is 16.5% alcohol. I don't think I have any more of the 18s. This one I actually looked in a box that I had stuff, and I thought I had some of the 18, the old 18s. They used to be 18%, and you could only get it in Kentucky. You couldn't get it here, and then had some of the last bottles that they sold, but I think I've already consumed them, and I think I still have a Tokyo that I will say imported into the States as live yeast samples. So I didn't know that's how it was going to come. My brother asked me. He was actually working over at DHL. And it's like, how'd you get that in the country? And I said, well, this is what they said. Basically, it came in with a tag that said that it was live yeast samples for testing, which is actually accurate. And I've actually I meant to do it when I had a bottle, and then I screwed up. Was after pouring the bottle, get a little bit of water in there to get the yeast sediment out of the bottom, and then do a culture of it. But I never did that. So you were, because I remember, Chris, you're not too tall, right? 2.2 pounds. So that's over 200, man. You weigh as much as I do. I'm 15.5 stone, or was until I got lazy. I don't know if you guys use, almost, I was almost 15.5 stone. Now I'm just closer to 15 because I've just been a lazy bum. But I don't know if you guys use stone in Australia or not, but it really confuses Brits when I tell them that. Number one, they look at me and it said, aren't you an American? Yeah. And then they don't believe me. Why is that? I don't know. I guess it pulsates like that. Oh, wow. So, but yeah, that's great. That's great. I got to get I was on track to hit over 300 pounds on my squat by the end of the year. And then I got really lazy. My wife had to go visit her mom for a while. Her dad's has Alzheimer's, been in the hospital, been in a nursing home for a while. And when she was gone, I had to do so much stuff, and there was so much crap going on. What? Oh, hey, what was, hold on, my son's in here. What was, he was chewing on something over there, but I couldn't tell what it was. Oh, that thing. Yeah, Mom lets him chew on that. Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, otherwise I can't see my screen. But so now, but I went last Sunday actually, and it's like every week I'll do a couple days, and then I just chicken out. I'm not eating right either, but yeah, I did a set at 185, set at 225, set of 5, and then I did another set 225, and I did 230, and I was like, you know what? Last time I was in here, I did 250 for a set, And so I did 255. My brain got in the way. I was actually able to do a rep. I did a rep decently. I re-racked and waited, and then did another rep. But my brain kept getting in the way. My brain kept saying, "Oh my God, you're going to hurt yourself." And but I was able to push the weight. So I got to work on my deadlift. However, is just, I don't know what happened. I don't have the grip strength or something. It's very strange. But I got to get back to it because ski season is going to be here really soon. Where this is, mid-October. And we've got all the stuff for Ski Patrol done. I've got all my refresher stuff done, got my extra shifts, all that stuff at weight. And I got to see if I'm going to get new skis or not. And I've got the code for it. But yeah, I'm looking at a pair of head skis, possibly the Itanium. That's why I'm on BitChute. But anyway, looks like David Applegate and the Appalachian American Seth are going back and forth in the chat, Facebook chat. Apparently David got banned from YouTube. I don't know why. I know he's into a lot of conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff, but he's not nowhere near anything like Alex Jones or nothing. But YouTube is YouTube, but that's why also I try to get all my stuff echoed over to BitChute. I know on BitChute it's really hard to make money, but at least you're being heard. So I have 8 notifications on Twitter right now. It looks like Chris Wills, I guess Steve Wills 125 started something. So, and tagged me in it. I mean, myself, and what is the best way? Because if I put this, I can't. Oh, now the dogs are barking their butts off. So there's StreamYard. There's entire screen. I guess I could just do the entire screen. I don't like this, but maybe. So I'm going to close this. So anyway, that's the Muscle Nation, I think, is in the UK. And they actually have said that, and I'm gonna order some of their stuff too, some of their supplements, because they're actually going to promote my reviews of it. So we have, who else is living rent free in the head of Freddie Prinze? This was his rant, I guess, on the Fandom Minutes. The only one who hope Disney are paying enough money to pay their. So this is also what keeps going off in my ear, because I have this up in another window, obviously. But you can see there's lots of things going on with that stream of consciousness, as it were. But it's great, and it's the excuse. One of the things that I keep saying, I did a couple of videos on Captain Marvel this week, and last week I named them the Disney excuse media, because that's who I don't think they're really sycophants. I think they're just, I know they want to be invited to the parties, and some of them are. But they just come up with excuses as to why, Captain Marvel this or whatever, anything. And, they want to talk about us being a minor vocal minority. Great. Then we should have no impact on sales. The toys ought to be flying off the shelf. Now, this is something that, where did I do with that? Somewhere I've got a cheap GoPro type camera, and I don't even remember where I got it. Hold on. Ugh. Yeah, I think I won this or something years ago. I need to open this because I want to, I take my camera. So if anybody's seen my trailer footage that I did there for in Chicago, this is what I shot all that stuff on. I'm going the wrong way. So almost all of my videos that I do, except the live stream like this, is on this is my iMac, so God only knows what kind of crappy quality this is. But this is my Nikon D7000. I'm not taking this into Meijer, but yesterday I had to pick up some stuff on the way home, and I purposely went by the toy section. And Meijer's this combination department. It's got, you can buy clothes and groceries and all this other crap. And it's kind of like a super Walmart or a Target. And so I want to use this to capture some video because I think it does 720. I don't know. It's only 5 megapixel. Anyway, I wanted to see the Star Wars section because I've seen more and more people doing some Star Wars toy type, not so much what the toys are. And there it is. And so I go in and I couldn't find anything. And I forget who it was on Twitter did a thing where he said, here's a display for Frozen 2. And this is at their Walmart. And it was huge in the aisle. And then for like Star Wars was this little tiny display. So I'm looking out in the aisles, nothing at all. Now we're 2 months, a little over 2 months from the release of the movie. And with The Force Awakens, Meyer had almost an entire, let's say an aisle. So one side of an aisle, it was like maybe 80% of one side. See, I don't know where my hands are, was Star Wars stuff. And, now by the time we got the Rogue One was still about as large, but by the time we got close to Last Jedi, it was about half. After Last Jedi, it was even less. And so I'm like, I didn't see anything poking out, no signage, no banners, no nothing saying Star Wars toys. So I'm thinking, well, do they have anything? And there's rows there's like Barbie, for instance, is a whole aisle, right? And there's Legos and there's puzzles and all this stuff. And so I go up and down every single aisle and I still almost walk past it. And it was no more than 5 feet wide. Now it was, height wise, was probably up to 7 feet, the normal shelves. But I could not believe it. And most of the stuff there was for the new movie. And there was some stuff that was still kind of old, but not much. But there was not much of anything. There were a handful of lightsabers. There was that stupid droid, a D0 or DO or whatever in the hell his name is. There's a couple of things, and that was it. And I was very, very surprised at how little stuff there was. And it's all, and I don't know why, right? There was no one around to ask anything. And maybe I should do that and just kind of find out. But I want to go there. There's the Kroger in Fairfield might have some stuff, but Kroger is really just a grocery store anymore. I don't know. Kroger's to me are they're just too crowded, too congested. But across the interstate, there's a what used to be a super Walmart. It used to be huge. Now it's 1/3 the size. And they redid it several years ago. But there's also another Meijer and there's a Target not too far from me. And there's another Walmart in a couple different directions. There's Walmarts and some other stuff. So I want to just kind of go take a little bit of video and then kind of narrate it afterwards. Because I'm betting I'm going to find the same thing over and over again. And that's just, there's not a lot there. And so it's amazing that we're at this point, and I have not forgotten my point. So, but it's amazing that we're here 4 years into the movies, right? I know Disney bought it 6 years ago or something like that, and 7 years ago, and the merchandising is already well in the toilet, right? With the original trilogy, we didn't even get to this until, I don't know if we ever got to this level. Even into the 90s, but when the movies hadn't come out for over 10 years, and then the prequel stuff, and I don't know how many games there are. I mean, with the Lego one, I mean, I played the Lego, because the Lego was for the prequel trilogy first, and that was okay. But when it came out I told my son, I said, this comes out for the original, we're buying it. So, and we did. He and I played the living crap out of that. He liked it better than the first one. Oh, now that tastes much better. So maybe I just poured it wrong, or maybe I was just being I don't know, but that's what wow, hold on. The alcohol, it is boozy. So I have another bottle from this same month, and then I have one more bottle from later on, and somewhere over there, you can't see, I got a bunch of beers, in boxes and stuff, kind of. I'm in the basement, so there's not a whole lot of light down here, and the dogs are barking like crazy. But anyway, so there we have that. I don't know what else I can talk about, but yeah, I was watching the Cecil live stream today. It was actually from a while ago, but it was a post High Council live stream, and he had EVS, and Jeremy showed up, and John Mallor, I think, if I remember correctly. And let me see if I can find my histoire. I tell you, it was in September. So that was part of why I was like, maybe I should just do this as a live stream. It's not a big old long thing. John Malin. And so anyway, it was good fun. But it looks like no one else is going to be joining me. But I just wanted to do I wouldn't say a tribute, just kind of a nod of respect and admiration to Emily, and sadness of her passing. And I didn't have anything against her. I know there's a zillion MGTOW videos out there of people that, I found those after I found her, and I'm watching them going, yeah, there's a reason you guys are single. It's like, now, I understand with modern times and all that stuff, and all the Me Too and all that stuff, I kind of feel for some of these guys that, they're probably afraid, and I would be too. But and her, she had a big following. She weathered the storm with YouTube twice. And I don't know if I do that. I don't even know if you can hear me. I know I can't hear me unless I really, nope. Ugh. I don't know how. I've seen some of these YouTubers will have the microphone like that far away from themselves, and they hear it fine, but I can't hear crap. And normally I have a meter up here. Maybe if I do it that way, is that better? I don't know, Chris, if you're still there, if you can still hear me, please let me know. Because when I do this, I don't get enough feedback in here to know how loud I am. So maybe if I turn the volume up, it'll sound better. But according to the input levels, when I look over here on my Mac, it's quite high. But I also hear a lot of background noise. I hear a lot of air movement. I've got the air, well, the AC is not on, but the fan is blowing. And I hear all of the computer fans and everything else. But when I am closer and I speak softer and I don't talk as loud and I don't have that up as much, now, even though the levels, as far as I can see, are about the same volume, I don't hear any of that. So I don't know how much of it is just amplified and how much of it is really there. Because the sensitivity, I boosted it up too high. This is where my Mac likes to put it. And this is where, that is where I like to put it. So I don't know. And I know I can adjust stuff here. And when I have the gain up too much here, I hear the cat down the street. So anyway, and I like silence in here. I only want to hear me and what I'm supposed to be hearing. When I hear everything else, I get paranoid that it sounds like crap. Now, I say that, and I still use my on-camera microphone for my camera, but closer, better, closer. All right, thank you. And someday I want to actually get, I don't know, wireless mics or something. I don't know. When I do my videos upstairs, right above me, right above my head is a chandelier. It's a cheap one, but it now has LED lights in it. When it had regular incandescents, I'd only have 3 in there because it would get so hot. I mean, I literally can stand up and bang into it. But once we got LEDs, there's like 3 watts, maybe 4 watts of heat get generated by those things, but it's still like 40, I guess it's 40s or 50 watts of light. And there's 7 lights, and that makes a big difference. So that's good. And but anyway, I just project. I just talk past the camera, and I put it on about 28 millimeter, something like that, that lens, to really get nerdy and goofy. So anyway, but I think too, if I remember correctly, Dogfish Head is looking to expand into Australia, but I don't think they have yet. I think you can find it, but it's all bootleg. So we'll see. They recently got merged. They merged with Boston Beer Company. So this is Dogfish Head. But if you can keep this out of the light and keep it cool, this will age for years. And it's okay. I like the barrel aged beers better that have aged. I don't know why. So anyway, I don't know. Oh, that's the other thing. My son was telling me right before I started to do this, and I forgot to look it up. So he said, have you heard about the stuff with Blizzard in China? And I thought he meant the weather. And apparently there's people on Hart. They've banned people on Hearthstone who've been on there talking about Hong Kong. So Blizzard breaks its silence on controversial suspension of a pro Hong Kong Hearthstone player. So I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna try to do my internet. Yeah. So this better not be porn. Ethan Van Sciver voice. Yeah. So here we go. So this way I can't see any. Well, can I? Well, I can move it over. You won't see it move, but I'll see it move. Now I can. Oh, I can even get the ads off of here. Yeah. So let me give you a little bit of stuff, Chris, on Dogfish Head. You can look them up on the internet, obviously, but they. So Sam Calagione, who started that brewery, they also do a lot of interesting beers. They were just a kind of a run of the mill brew pub in Rehoboth Beach, and I think it was University of Maryland. There was a professor of anthropology who was they had found some. This was tombs. They called it King Midas, but I don't remember if it really is. But in the Mediterranean, they found these jars that could do a chemical analysis of what was there, and so it was grape must and it was barley and honey in a drink. There were some herbs and some other things, and they went to 3 local they did a competition essentially, and Dogfish Head won. And so Midas Touch is what that beer is, and it's pretty big. I think it's like 8%, but it's kind of a combination. It's nice and golden color. It's very good. It's very different in many ways, but it's supposed to be like from Crete or Minoa. I forget exactly where, but somewhere in that vicinity of the Mediterranean. And that kind of boosted them to prominence. And so they do several different versions of an IPA, and the 120 minute is how long they boil it. And they constantly add hops, and they have a 60, they have a 90, they have a 75 as well, which is all right. And then the same professor has also, as he's traveled around the world, and part of what he specializes in is drinks of ancient cultures. And some of them are drinks of cultures that still are, but say some bizarre. And I forget what it's called, but there's this thing that they do every few years. It's made from blue corn, and I got there's one of the dog's balls on my foot. Sorry. And apparently in this culture, it's like high in the Andes that they do this. The women make it, the men don't. And interesting enough, but they have to chew the corn. I forget how, like so many chews, and they spit it out. And so this is part of why they only make this every several years, because by the time they're done, everybody's jaws hurts. It's like everybody in the company participates for like 3 days in chewing all this corn. But anyway, they have some very strange beers, but they have a pretty good stout as well, and they have some of the more off the wall ones. They don't, so their IPAs are a little bit bigger and goofier than your typical ales. They don't make a pale, but they make some other things. They've got some stuff anyway. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. He was on a was it beer? Gosh, I used to have the wave file, the MOV files for this, but years ago on one of the channels when I actually sort of watched television still, like Discovery or something like that, they did a series. He was on it, and it was supposed to be about different beers and different things, and some distributor got all upset, and Anheuser-Busch, like they're kind of like the China of beer. So this is why in the States, when anytime a brewery sells out to AB InBev, I stop buying it. Like Lagunitas did it recently. Goose Island, I'm done. I mean, it's only personal choice. If people still buy it, I'm not going to hound them for it. But anyway, video game developer Blizzard has finally broken its silence, banning a professional player of popular virtual game Hearthstone card game. So this is for voice and support of the Hong Kong protest. So this is recent. This is just a few days, yesterday. And I know we had the hubbub with the NBA, where some NBA players were saying, they were supporting Hong Kong, and that all blew up. And then the NBA had to do all kinds of stupid stuff. But, money talks and BS walks. And, all that money from China. What in the world are they doing to the crickets? Taste testing crickets from a high-tech insect farm? Oh, my gosh. Oh, because this is the future, according to these wackos who believe in man-made global warming. or climate change. Said it would reduce the 1-year suspension to a 6-month one and restore the prize money it withheld from him. Claims that an initial decision was not influenced by relationship with China. Oh, bullcrap. Expressed by Blitzchung, I guess, was not a factor in the decision we made. I want to be clear, relationship with China had no flow. Yeah, bullcrap. We have these rules to keep the focus on the game, on the tournament, and the benefit of okay. Yep. Yes, but if he said, Mao Zedong, long live Mao Zedong, I bet you they wouldn't have done crap. So yeah, I don't play WoW anymore. I finally got to the point where I couldn't make enough in-game gold to pay for my token. I got close. It was for several months. It was close because I didn't play enough. And so I don't know if I'm gonna even. There's a part of me that just wants to delete it off my computer. So anyway, so these are frozen crickets. Oh, this idiots. I know, CO2 and all that. So as a journal, we'll keep our broadcast focused on the game. Yeah. See, this is the boilerplate nonsense. This is somebody in HR wrote this, probably between HR and the marketing department. Blizzard's been going downhill for a long time. They've lost a lot of good developers. Says it will not punish players for political speech. Initial ban was faced. My son was saying there was a bunch of people that were banned like for 1,000 years or something. I don't know. I think it's been blown out of proportion. Classic WoW. Yeah, classic WoW is what is actually keeping them up. So loading comments. Too late. They dug the grave, but they can't. Now they're yeah. So there you go, man. China's reach is everywhere. Yeah, I have been wondering if the current world culture is getting ready for some kind of reset. And I don't mean like a disaster. I mean, yeah, okay, a meteor. Oh, the dogs are back in from their outside. A meteor could hit the Earth in the wrong spot and put us back in the Stone Age, literally. But or parts of a comet or something. I mean, imagine the Tunguska. Was that 1906? And then 1906, we also had earthquakes in a couple of places, one of them in San Francisco. Very interesting. But that was, I want to say, 150 feet in diameter, and then it blew up in the atmosphere. If that had been like over London at the time, it would have killed perhaps hundreds of thousands. I don't know about millions, but, and that was a torn ice sheet. That came from behind the Earth. So that wasn't a head on. It could have been a lot worse. But do you imagine something like that hitting, or things that what they think now ended the last ice age, the meteor streams that came in and took out the 2 miles of ice in an afternoon, basically. And I'm not being facetious about that. Meltwater pulses that are they're talking 18 months or less for the oceans to rise 400 feet. As all of the glaciers on the continent melted. So, they feel the economy is a mini first world. Yeah. And that is at risk of sounding almost conspiratorial. But if you look at in the States, the Fed, as soon as you have a national bank, this is the whole Rothschild thing. I care not if I control a country's currency. I care not who makes its laws. That is this whole Keynesian economic nonsense, and this whole BS that for a country to print more money, it has to borrow it. Not according to our Constitution. If we want to print more money and keep its value, we have to acquire more gold. Well, we used to until Nixon. And if we want to devalue the currency, they can just devalue the currency. They don't have to borrow anything. This whole borrowing nonsense really didn't come in until the Federal Reserve was created. And then just skyrocketing, you look at a debt chart of the country, and it's a little bit not great. And we're borrowing it from other countries and other things, and then off it goes. And it's the Fed that did it. And most countries, you've got the International Monetary Fund and all that stuff, and the banks that borrow from each other. And it's like, it's not hard to, if you just put a few ducks in a row, you're like, well, this almost feels like a money cartel, and it's amazing. And then you find out that China buys a lot of the debt of these countries. And my understanding of years ago, they were buying gold mines and stuff like that, literally, and keeping the gold for themselves. So they were strengthening their own currency. But I've been hearing for years that the world was going to go off the U.S. dollar, and they have the petroleum dollar and all that. We're going to, but see, the euro is based in dollars. A lot of currencies now are based on dollars in the background. The UK very smartly kept their sterling, their pound sterling, and but now they're doing all kinds of dumb stuff. I mean, you just look at Europe, and every country lockstep, goose step into the same stuff. It's like at some point, all this is going to come to a head, and it's going to be ugly. It's going to be worldwide. The next world war is going to be really bad. So, but invasions and all that other stuff that you have in Europe, they're not immigrants, they're invaders. So anyway, yeah, and I haven't been drinking much. I've still got quite a bit left. Yeah. That's the thing. And China is we need them far more than they need us. They still need us. And they have a sort of semi-managed, semi-capitalistic. They have capitalists, but they're all party members, put it that way. And now, look at the face recognition stuff that they're doing in China. I mean, you talk about freaky. You don't even have to be some kind of conspiracy nut, and just look what they're doing. And these protesters in Europe or in Hong Kong and other places, they're finding out that some of these face masks, face paint, gets away from that. It confuses the face recognition software. They've done experiments where they have in Hong Kong, not Hong Kong, it's Beijing City. Essentially the inner part of it is, I forget, it's like the population of New York, but like just Manhattan in size. I mean, it's huge. It's unbelievable, and they can have people go in there and when they did some of their experiments, they found these people in minutes. And the whole thing with their economic, not their social scores. I'm sorry, but you posted something we didn't like, so now you can't get on this train. I mean, that's just. And they did apparently they did an episode kind of poking fun at that on the Orville. Sorry, I'm not sitting right, so now my rear end's hurting wrong. So. Yeah. And U.S. bonds. Yeah, it's insane. When you look at all the, and Japan owns a lot of our debt. And Japan's like their debt to their GDP, it's like 230% that they've borrowed more than it's like, there is no way any of this is ever getting paid back. It's just hokey pokey at this point. At some point, it's just all going to it's going to come to a head, and it won't be pretty. But who knows? We could always have an asteroid hit us, like what hit the ice sheets. I keep hearing, Yosemite is so many years out of, it should have blown up so many years ago, and it hasn't. And, that's supposed to be a super volcano underneath, not Yosemite, Yellowstone Park. And it's moved, and the bulge has moved, and the lakes have moved, and, it should have blown up by now. Well, if they're right, and that does blow up, I'm probably not, even as far away as where I am, it's going to be lights out, basically. So I don't know. So, well, anyway, Chris, I'm gonna thank you for being my only person that's watching, but can't win them all. So, but I did go live with some the things I wanted. If you have any other questions, I'll just kind of wait. If anything else you want to ask me. Oh, there's Lapizanus. Oh yeah, the stalker comes and goes. Shows up on the fan cast from time to time too. Yeah, very insightful. Thank you, mate. Yeah, it was great meeting you in Chicago. Hope to meet you again. As far as I know, as of now, I will be at Star Wars Celebration. I think it's in Pasadena or in California next year. Jeff's talked about it, but I don't know. It's not fully. I know he's going. And whether he's going to drag the rest of us along, Okay, no problem, man. Uh, but I'm fairly certain he is. And I'm trying to grow my channel. I really wanted to hit 2,000 by the end of the year, and it's looking kind of iffy. But and so if anybody's got any ideas what I can do or not do to get this channel to grow, let me know, because I'm open to ideas and cross shoots. I've been trying to get Cecil to join us on the fan cast, but so far I haven't been able to get him to respond. So if you are anybody listening is a subscriber of Cecil's as well, just mention him. The fan cast is becoming its own thing, and we had a great time yesterday. So I'm just kind of the ringleader, and sometimes I'm not even that. So it's like I'll just sit here and be quiet. And some good personalities, and it's been always changing, and we're not trying to be the next WCBS. We're trying to be our own thing, whatever that means. And I think that's part of it, is understanding that. I'm in more and the dogs barking, they're playing this time. Been trying to be more on more of a schedule with my videos and stuff like that, and we'll see how well that works. What is that? It's like my sunken cheeks. And so Tuesday mornings is what I've been doing, the supplement videos, and Friday mornings beer review and just pop culture stuff and movies and everything else in between. And I like doing those videos. I like this. I did the OBS thing the other day. It was good, but I ended up with this huge file, which wasn't good. So I got to figure out what my better settings for that. And and that's what I realized today, Chris, is what is my identity? I mean, I have this nickname Brain Muffin, but what does that mean? What does the Brain Muffin label look like? What does the Bryon Lake brand look like? And I think I know what it means, and that's the problem. I don't know what it means. I don't how, I'm not going to be, wear a mask and pretend to be somebody. And, Jeremy is pretty much the way you see him on there, although he's a bit more obnoxious on video than he is in real life, but not by much. And, with WCBS, really, what really blew that channel up was Jeff doing the toy videos. That was their first million view video, and when he got away from just the podcast stuff is when that channel started to grow, and we're trying to figure out what that means on the fan cast as well, and so we'll do that. But I appreciate the support, appreciate everybody that stops by and gives a thumbs up, even with some of the lives. Like I said, I didn't know I was on a live stream for over an hour, and I've been at this. I did an impromptu live stream when we were at Horror Hound. Logan Michael Funko Pops Are Gay was probably the only person who was watching, but it was good. And that video has actually gotten quite a few more hits since. I look horrible on my little iPhone, but my wife's like, "Oh, you look old." But those are the types of things I want to try and do more of. My schedule is insane. So many times this is why, like the video that I published yesterday, my daughter and I actually shot on her birthday in March, and I finally got around to editing it. And that happens quite often. Hey, look who is here. Liquid Metal Pro. Wow, just when I was looking like I wanted to sign off. So LMP, what do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? You want to join? You can join me if you want, man. If you're available. Yeah, I know Jeff wants to hit 200,000 by the end of the year, but yeah, it's them and I can't believe Cecil only has 10,000 subs. That's insane. But EVS and WCBS seem to have hit a speed bump. Jeremy's still growing. But Jeremy's got others. Well, Geeks and Gamers is still growing. And he's got a lot of other things going on there. And that's part of it, I think, is those other personalities, people that give videos and stuff. Now, what's interesting, though, if you look at the views that Jeremy gets versus or Geeks and Gamers gets versus WCBS, they get more views on each video, but I don't know, because the way the algorithm works, you put a video up and it's like it has to like sit for 24 hours, and if you put another one up, they'll stop promoting that. It's very weird. And then forget all of the political shenanigans. I mean, I have had videos that just before I even publish them, they're limited. They're not completely demonetized. They're limited. Like I did one, oddly enough. Now this is pretty. I did a video. I think it was like Welcome to Wokeville or what, something like that. But there was a guy, and this was in New Zealand, if I remember correctly, Chris. And so sort of in your neighborhood, and closer to yours than mine. But this guy was an artist. The guy was gay. Okay, so he was a gay activist who was trying to champion the hate speech. Essentially inform people of what the hate speech was like for the LBGTQ plus community. And so he made this art display, and God bless. Quiet. Hush. The two brother puppies are, well, one's a year and a half old, one's 6 months old, but about the same size now. I think Egg is going to be huge. German Shepherd puppies are playing, and then the older puppy didn't like it. So he makes this art display, and then he gets arrested for a hate crime. Okay. And see, this is what I don't understand. New Zealand's doing this, Australia's doing this, UK's doing this. It's like Canada's sort of doing this. We're kind of like, we're not yet. We don't follow the crown. It's like the countries of the crown are following this really stupid path. And so I did a video about that. I recorded, me reading the article, and I put it out there. And I did a fairly good description, and I said, okay, let's schedule this for tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And it was struck immediately, demonetized before it was ever even out. And I was like, this is exactly what the problem is. I have the word hate. Excuse me. The word hate is in the description because that's what this guy was dealing with. He was dealing with, trying to raise awareness of this hate. And granted, I mean, people can be very mean with their words and everything else. And, it was in many ways YouTube's version of what this guy was going through, because here I am reporting on it. I gave no, in the description and in the video, I never said whether I thought it was good or bad. I mean, the guy has a right to free speech. So in that case, I was against him being arrested for this stuff. And I thought it was sad that he's trying to raise awareness for his community, and he's in this community and a part of it, and he gets arrested for hate speech. And then I do a video reporting on that article, and it gets struck demonetized, and it went live. Okay. And it got an okay view. But it was demonetized before it ever went live. And I'm like, this is the absolute symptom of the problem. It's different if people are on here inciting actual violence. Well, as long as it's a certain religious group, it's okay. And that's the problem. They're in bed with fascists. And I mean, to me, socialism, communism, fascism, I know there's supposedly distinct differences, but to paraphrase William Buckley, no, wasn't William Buckley. It was, God bless him, the black guy, I forget his name. But basically, to paraphrase him, because I won't get the quote exactly right, when the boot of tyranny is on your throat, it doesn't matter if it's a right or a left foot, essentially. But I don't look at fascists as right wing. To me, that's just as I said in a video a long time ago, if you go look at one of my older videos, if you have the arrow of tyranny, okay, let's see if I can do this. Where's my camera? There's my camera. So the arrow of tyranny, the center is socialism, the left is communism, and the right is fascism, but it's still tyranny. So, and that's the point on the spear of tyranny. So to me, it didn't matter. To me, it's all tyranny, so it's all the same. But I'm also a hair's breadth from being an anarchist, so a benevolent anarchy. So it's great about Nerdrotic and Anna. Yeah, that's the thing. Anna and Jesse and I all talked about possibly doing a stream together in Chicago, and we never did. So, I don't know. Maybe I need to reach out. I don't know. Especially if I'm feeling really kind of, low energy, I do a live stream with Jesse, and I'll be like ready to run around the block. And I gotta mess with my hair though. Oh shoot! I keep forgetting I'm looking at everything in reverse. So LMP, it's been more than 5 minutes, dude. Are you coming or not? So, Chris, are you like driving to work? Let's see. I'm not sure. I forget what part of Australia you're in. You're like 11 hours ahead of me. It's at 9:30 in the morning or 10:30. when you have time to chat. Oh my goodness, the booziness of that beer is getting bigger. Let me see if I can find. Off-centered ales for off-centered people. This is their website. Whoops, wrong tab. 12:30. Okay, you're further ahead than I thought. So if it's 12:30 a.m. or p.m. rather, so you're 15 hours ahead of me. I'm driving from flight school. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you posting that on Facebook. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. I know I gave you a thumbs up and a like and all that when you posted on Facebook. That's great. Yeah, I flew. I had a former boss of mine took me up, and he had a Cessna something other. I don't remember now. It could vary. It could hold 4 people and some luggage, whatever size that is, like 135 or 155. And he took me up once, and I flew around, and that was about it. Now my wife has done years and years ago, probably almost over 20 years ago, because it was before I met her. But her dad's friend had a plane, and she went up. So I don't remember if she's landed. I think she's taken off a few times. She has flown by sight and by instrument. I was just flying around Knoxville, so I just kind of banked the plane a little bit. I did gain a little bit of altitude, trying to keep the nose pulled back. But all right, L&P. L&P, I'll send it to you on Facebook. Heck, I'll just send it to the whole group. Oh, see, I closed the tab because of what was going on. Somebody want to explain this to me? What's going on here? Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, that's my take on it. So how do I share that? So I'm in Firefox right now. And StreamYard in Firefox works fairly differently than it does in the other one.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so great. I don't know how the hell I'm making this work, but it's working. So I'm happy with the results.
Cool.
Wait a second. I just realized I'm wearing a headset, but I don't have Bluetooth on. But hey, I'll say this much: StreamYard is actually a lot better than some of the other options that we've used in the past. So good on them.
Yeah, it's the plugin. When I share stuff, you see for the hey man, Chris Wicks is in the chat. Man, say howdy.
Hey Chris, I was reading some of that stuff. That's pretty cool. Flight school. I have a nephew that's actually trying to become an engineer, fixing planes and stuff like that. So good on you, brother.
All right, I don't see an option. See, one of the things that I can do when I share screen inside of, I use Opera to do the fan cast. It'll do by program, or I can do the various tabs in Opera, and I select which tab I want to do, and it works well. Now that I figured out what the hell it's doing, this is just it'll pick up Firefox. The only thing it'll pick up is the current. What if hold on a second. All right, so I'm going to remove that. What if I yank the tab out of the same box? But when I click share screen here, I get basically all the various windows that I have open. Oh, there it goes. So I had to pull it. I had to pull the tab out.
Ah, great. This is where you doxed me again a fifth time.
No, sir. So, so who was it that said this? Was this Adam? Can you see my screen? Kendo's comment. He posted this last night on the live stream. He also posted on the last two episodes of the fan cast. But to me, this is Kendo being Kendo, and you can either take that positively or negatively because it's probably meant both ways. The views and opinions expressed on this video are solely that of the participants and does not reflect those of World Class Bullshitters. World Class Bullshitters has not endorsed nor produced this video. And it's not like we're using their logos or anything. It's not like there's any, to me, he may have been drinking or something. I guess I don't need to share that anymore. But did you drop?
Oh no. See, the thing is, I'm using this on mobile, so it's still, you know how they say it's still in the experimental phase. Yeah. So I pressed I pressed the back button on my phone by accident, and it took me back. I completely missed what the hell just happened. What's going on?
All right. So let me share. Yeah, I didn't see that you had dropped. Let me add this back. Can you? All right. You probably can't see my screen though, can you? It's probably too small.
It is so tiny.
Did you send Chris Wicks? Oh, did Chris Wicks send you $15? $14.99. $14.99 from Chris Wicks. Small donation to your crusade.
Well, thank you, Chris Wicks, for supporting this guy right here. This man's been like a dad to me whenever he hasn't doxed me. So, yes.
Did he send a super chat and I missed it?
Yes, sir. You got to be on point, sir. You're drinking too much.
I am drinking too much.
God, I need a drink. I'm so sober.
Well, it doesn't show up.
No, I can see the screen.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay, see, I had to bring this up in YouTube to see why doesn't it show up in StreamYard? Thank you very, very much, Chris.
Okay, so
appreciate it.
I can barely make out the letters because remember I'm on mobile here. So
yeah. So I'll read it. So Kendo, I noticed this last night. He made a comment early on, and then he posted this. He posted this in the comment section of the last two videos. So this was the one that Adam was talking about. So this is episode 96. This is actually several videos ago. Maybe he's doing more. The views and opinions expressed on this video are solely that of the participants and does not reflect those of World Class Bullshitters. World Class Bullshitters has not endorsed nor produced this video. To me, this is Kendo being Kendo, and it's hard to explain if you don't know him. Because sometimes he's being real, and sometimes he's being an ass bag, and it's hard to tell the difference. I'm still recovering from last night, never drinking again. Yeah, MJ. So MJ is in the chat. MJ, I got here. Let me stop showing this. MJ, can you see the screen? Can you see what's going on? What's going on?
Damn,
I got my stuff today. This was part of this live stream was me doing an unboxing. So there's my shaker bottle. Look at this LMP. Now what you can't tell because the lighting down here is not good enough is this is actually kind of a charcoal gray see-through.
I see it.
And then
cool.
Instead of I got to remember where the camera is. Instead of it being a mixer ball that can go everywhere, it's part of the lid. So it's not a straw. It's a stir stick, I guess you could say. So, so here's my box. Oh shit. And then, I got 3 flavors. So I did an unboxing because I wanted to do this thing for Emily Hart, who was killed 4 days ago in London. And I used to be a subscriber to her channel a long time ago.
Oh shit, what the hell happened?
Apparently a truck hit her. She was on an e-scooter and apparently in the street, and it's illegal in London. And a lorry, a truck, hit her in a roundabout.
Damn.
And killed her on the scene, from what I understand. Details are very unknown at the moment. But anyway, this is the blood raz.
Damn shame.
And this is the watermelon. Yeah, I'll show you your picture. She was 35 years old, man. Over 300,000 subscribers.
Really? Hmm.
I liked her, one of her twin sisters. Well, I actually liked her older sister better, Charlotte. I don't know. I was more attracted to her. They're all tall. Oh my God, the dogs are farting. God bless. God bless America. Whoops, that's the wrong button.
See, the dogs farting were a staple of the fan cast going back God knows how many episodes.
Yes, it was. But
yes, Kendall, how's that for express views or whatever? God, I need to pay attention to a damn word that was on that paragraph. I just wanted to bring up his name.
Hey, Cecil's live. And Anna's driving and she's live streaming. What is she, nuts? Can I show this? I'm gonna try something. Let me know if you can hear Cecil talking. Hold on.
As long as we're not banned in China, because apparently that's the only place we have a base, I think we'll be fine.
Because there's not an option for me to share audio. Can you hear anything?
Okay, I can see Cecil. I see something with pink hair. And
that's Anna.
Okay.
This is Anna. Can you see my hair? And then
I could see stuff. Again, this is mobile, so I can only see like tiny versions of them. Yeah, for a second, I with the glasses and the fat man, I thought that was someone else. Guys, forgive me.
I can't. Hold on.
Not drunk or anything.
Okay, I can't hear it now. Cecil and Anna were talking. I couldn't hear a damn thing you were saying. Say that again.
Okay. No, I was just saying. I see Cecil. I see Anna, and for a second, the little heavy set guy at the very bottom with the glasses, I thought that was someone else for a second. So, guys, please forgive me. As long as no one puts two and two together, I think I'm forgiven.
All right. So you couldn't hear him talking though, right?
Nope. Fortunately, this is the only way I can do I can listen to stream for the time being. My laptop's being really stupid lately, so I have to invest money in a brand new one. Thankfully, hopefully, with all this overtime I'm doing, I can finally buy a new one. So,
yeah. No, I don't have an option to add sound. That's what I was trying to. There's full screen layout. I don't want that. But yeah, so this is what I'm saying. When I do this, hold on. See if I can show instead of tell.
Instead of tell. That's usually the kind of thing you want a girl to do for you.
Well, no, I'm not I'd have to create a live stream for the fan cast for that to work. So no, I can't do it. But what I might be able to do is this. So maybe I'll do this, and if somebody's watching this that knows how to do this. So if I do my whole screen, I know this is going to go on infinitum. I get it. But if I come here, well, now it says stop sharing. Now, yeah, I don't know if I can show that. I guess I can't. Never mind. But when I do this in Opera, I have a checkbox, especially if I do an Opera tab. There's a checkbox that is enable audio. And so I don't know if it is the plugin for Firefox that doesn't do this. I didn't close Opera, but I shouldn't have. This also says I'm using the beta version of StreamYard. Well, it's still beta even for then too, on the Fancast. So anyway, but yes, if I could get a single account that I could do I think I can. I think it's possible to add more than one YouTube source to a single account on StreamYard. I'm gonna have to look that up, because if I can pay for it and have it work, there's features that we can't use on the Fancast because I have the free version of StreamYard. But at the moment I have two separate accounts. But if I could have one account that could hit both both things, then I would do that. So anyway, but yeah, Anna's driving and talking at the same time.
Well, as long as it's not drinking, I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, and I don't know who Comic Kelsey is. I don't know who that guy was. He was smoking.
Again, I thought that was someone else.
Yeah, I like the Cecil Says logo. I'm still watching it. Sorry. I had to just let's just do this for the next however many minutes. Screw it.
All right.
There, we can talk about what we see and can't hear.
Okay.
But yeah. So anyway, Anna, sorry, MJ. So I did an unboxing of that, and then I have the beer I'm drinking, LMP, is actually 2 years old. It's from March, actually 2017, 16.5% alcohol. Now this one's pretty good. I have another one in the refrigerator that's from 2017, but from October, and those are the ones that I had a 4-pack that I started to try and enjoy, and they weren't very good. This one's actually pretty good. Depending on what part of the U.S., so this is something, Chris, you can translate into Australian dollars. Depending on where you live, around here in Cincinnati, it's about $30 a 4-pack. It's a 12-ounce bottle, and because it's 16.5% alcohol, it's pretty high. But some places have it as high as 40 to 45.
Later, Chris Wicks.
All right, man. Hey guys, I have to bail. Thank you for the show. Awesome. Thanks for joining and stopping by and keeping me on for over an hour. 43 Aussie dollars. Yeah, and they would have to probably make it in Australia to have it that cheap. But it's 16.5%. That's a lot of ingredients to get that high. So, yeah, have a good one, man. And glad to hear about your moving along on your flying licenses. And look forward to when you're in full commercial pilot. That'll be awesome. And I look forward to seeing that on Facebook when you get it and you have your picture next to your airplane. So that's cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks also for the super chat, and awesome seeing you in Chicago. So hope to see you again sometime. That'd be awesome. Yeah, he was in. I met him. Actually, I know it. No, so. He and I met. Hello?
What?
Okay. So I met Chris Wicks in the, was that Friday night? I think it was Friday night. Underneath the bucked up logo, does it say racked? On what, MJ? On the things themselves. So here, I'll just take this out so people can see it, and I'll tell you my Chris Wicks story.
All right.
I took myself out. So here's what it says on this. It doesn't say racked. And I didn't have a choice, but I have a pink sticker, which is fine.
So one of the little decals right there.
And when I lived in the South and I actually had a tan, I looked pretty freaking good in a pink shirt.
At
least that's what my wife said.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Lape in a pink shirt.
Yeah. I still have that shirt somewhere.
I can imagine a buff Lape wearing that to the beach.
Yeah, well, there's a buff Lape. It ain't me.
I'm pretty sure you exist. That's like one of your forms, buff Lape.
If I wasn't so freaking lazy and got to the gym a lot, I probably would be.
This is coming from the guy that gives gym advice.
I do, but I go to the gym. I'm lazy.
Listen,
yeah, it's not the bucked up racked. It's just a regular one. The racked, that's BCAA. So I'm looking. Here's what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at. This is getting ridiculous. I should just keep it up. I hate pink. I like pink.
I think pink's well, here's the thing. I think it's a.
All right. Okay. I'm going to make a very crude comment, MJ. You don't like pink because you like guys. I'll just leave it at that. So, but there is this woke AF I'd like to try at some point. So, but yeah, my plan tomorrow, MJ, is to do a video, actually make it to the gym I'm going to do a before and after video, and God knows, well, I should be able to release it Tuesday morning because I don't think I have too many things in the way. Let me fire that up. But as you can see here, maybe, so you have the original BCAA, so you have 2111. So what is on the racked BCAA? So that's the branched chain amino acids there, LMP. Sorry for using inside baseball lingo.
It's fine. Listen, I'm about to at the rate that I'll be talking in the next couple minutes, I'll probably be using all sorts of lingo you won't even understand.
That's all right, as long as you don't hablo. I don't know what the difference is. This isn't a 2-1-1 ratio as well.
Just remember, it's your show.
Originale. Oh, it has fewer. Okay. Oh, but it's 3, 1.5, 1.5 technically. And then we'll see the Woke AF is their other pre-workout supplement. A warning, high stimulant. Yeah, 330 milligrams. This might kill me, but if you want to send me a sample, I'll gladly review it. So,
I mean, we'll get Buff Lape, so I think this is a win-win.
Yeah.
I wonder what Buff Lape would look like.
Well, my body fat's more like 16%. So at one time it was below 15. So it would probably have to be about 12% so that my abs show, maybe less. Probably to look big at my height, you're looking at 235 minimum. So 20 pounds heavier than me.
All right. I'm just saying, because I could imagine the day that you come out all buff looking and stuff like that. Everybody's talking mad shit about you, including me. It'd just be like kicking each other, just be kicking all our asses. Be like, you thought that was pretty funny, huh?
Yeah. Well,
all the channel dad jokes aren't funny now.
I don't remember if I still have it. I know I had it when LMP. I'm looking at your LMP. Tap and die. Let me do.
It's Tap. He should be on this chat.
He should be, but he's actually has a life on Saturday night.
Can you get? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, me and you are like the most boring people in the world on a Saturday night.
Here, I will do a screenshot. Let's see if I can do.
MJ asked, "Can you get as buff as her?" I think.
Me or you?
I think combined, she's probably buffer than both of us.
Well, this is some stuff I was doing last year. So here's me in my backyard. Okay. Now I'm standing beside a 6-foot fence.
Again, that's a pretty tall fence.
I know. Now that's Dozer when he was only a few months old. So this is last year. This was me experimenting with the camera. Now I'm actually not quite as big as that anymore.
Yeah, see that's
so yeah, I have a decent back. See, the problem is okay. So here's a good. You see me? Can I don't even know because you're on a phone. Can you see me at all?
A little bit. Okay. My MJ says no. That's a joke. I'm tiny. Well.
All right, because the problem is because I'm 6'5" we'll say, because I have shrunk a little bit. It's for me to look huge, I would have to gain at least 20 pounds.
Right.
Okay. So even though my arms aren't, and the thing is my arm, see if I can stop it here and not have it move. The shirt hides a lot of my arm definition. And see, there's where you can actually tell, because I'm not flexing, but I'm pulling the shirt a little bit and the shirt tightens. There's actually more there than people realize. Now, it also doesn't help that I'm over 50 years old. So, okay. So now there I'm only 50 in a few months, but that, so being 6'5" and 215 pounds, I've been in the gym, dude, in shorts and a t-shirt, and people think I'm 185 pounds because they don't understand. I'm not, okay, I'm 215 with a 34-inch waist and 15% body fat. That's the difference. So imagine me being buff. I'm going to be like 10 to 12 at most. So depend. I don't have a whole lot of outer body fat, but I have too much inner. But there is still a little bit over my abs. Okay, so you're talking 6-7 pounds, probably at least less body fat, and then have the shoulder width and to look big. That's another at least 15 pounds essentially in my upper body. So you're looking at minimum 225, but most likely 235, 240. That's about 3,500 for my metabolism, in particular my age. That's about 35 to 3,800 calories a day to maintain that. That is a crap ton of food.
All right, so let's make things a lot easier. If there's anybody in chat that knows how to draw, us what do you think a buff leg would look like?
There you go.
And then send it to the man. I have a feeling if we leave it up, like if we had more people on the chat right now, and we make that request, you're gonna get some interesting results.
Yeah. So when people look at Arnold, here's Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. I want to say he was 250 or 220, because I know for what was the movie he was in with Lonnie Anderson? Was that was that building? Yeah. You know what?
We're going a ways back a bit.
Yeah, I know we're going a ways back. This is almost before my time, but it was like Pumping Iron or something like that. He was in a movie about bodybuilding. He was in a movie.
Is that the one where he shakes the girl to death or something like that?
I don't know.
There's a movie like that where he flexes. The girl wants to see him flex or something like that, and he flexes. She starts laughing, and the next thing you know, he goes up to her, starts shaking her violently.
Right. But
and screaming.
It was in the 70s. But anyway, whatever movie he was in with, I think it was with Lonnie Anderson. But anyway, he was in a movie early on in his career, his muscle building career. So he wasn't acting. Here, I'm on. Just look up Arnold. Schwarzenegger. Do you know what his name means, by the way?
Who?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. I know Schwartz is got to be some kind of sausage or something like that, right?
No, Schwartz is black.
I'm gonna step away from that one right now.
No, as in the color black.
Okay. You know what? Forget what I just said. We'll leave it at that.
Well, black plowman is what it means. So
wait, what?
Yeah, that's what it means. Black plowman.
Okay, I'm out of here.
That's what he said on the David Letterman show many years ago. So I don't know. I'm looking. He was on
showing his age again.
Playmate Party. Crap. That's as himself. I don't see it. But anyway, I remember him talking about a movie he was in very early on. I think it was after he won 1 or 2 Mr. Olympians. I thought it was Pumping Iron, but I guess it's not. I thought it was in the 70s or early 80s, but then I get into Terminator and Conan. It was before all that. But anyway, the producers, I can't remember if it was 215 or 220. He had to get down to that size in like 6 months. And he had to drop a lot. And he still looked pretty buff, but nothing like what he looked like. Well, look at The Rock when he played Hercules. Wasn't he like 260? I think he was eating 4,000 calories a day or something like that to stay during the filming of that movie.
All I know is he still looks big.
Yeah, but he gained a lot of size for that movie. Hey, so, oh yeah, did you see? You want to be 130 pounds, MJ? Aren't you like 5'1"? Is that up or down? I don't know where that is from. Being small, you gain muscle quicker, but you don't. Yeah, you also can press a bit more too, because you have a shorter. This is what people don't understand. They think about a lever in physics. And so if I have a lever over here and I'm over here and I stand here, I don't have a whole lot of momentum arm. But if I stand out here, I have a lot of momentum arm. But it also means that a weight on this side has that same momentum arm to me. This is the part people don't get. Okay. So being tall, I have an advantage on weightlifting only in a certain portion of the move. So if I stand up, okay, this is me, and I lower, I have an advantage. At this moment, I no longer have any advantage. And now this extra weight that I can move pushes against me. And people don't understand that. So they look at because I actually have long femurs. I have comparatively longer femurs. Put it this way. I have portions, my hamstrings are great for someone 6'2", and my femurs are the length of someone 6'8". Okay. So I'm a bit odd and it hurts. That's part of why I have back problems, because my hamstrings are short. I have foreshortened hamstrings. So proportionately, I fold in half fairly decently, but I'm slightly more legs than I am upper torso, but not by much. Now my daughter's a bit more. So, but I don't know why you'd want to be 130. That seems like quite a bit on your frame. But anyway, she's 5 feet tall. Yeah, especially 5 feet tall. Because if you're 108 and lean, you got a lot of power. And that's the thing too, is because I have these long femurs, I have a longer, I have a longer range of motion. So when I do a squat, if someone else who had shorter femurs at my height, when they do a squat, I don't know if I have enough. I can't. Let's say this is my knee, okay, and this is my hamstring or my femur. So I'm going to go down for a squat and up. If I'm a normal person, it's more like this. And so getting out of that hole actually is better because your hamstrings are going to spring more, and where mine don't as easily. They do, but it hurts. So that's my problem is because of where my knee sits, my butt's further away than it should be proportionately, because my femurs are about 3 inches longer than they should be. So
okay, so answer this question. Is Gal Gadot proportionate?
Everywhere?
Why you always have to go look for a defect?
I'm just asking, proportionate in what regard?
I'm just saying, is she fine in terms of leg, whatever, and everything? All the stuff that you're describing right now.
All right.
Of course, I have to bring it to Gal Gadot.
Of course, because I always complain about her.
Exactly. So let's get this over with right now. Yes, no, what's the deal?
Oh, that's not work safe. I didn't realize what some of those images were. All right.
God, they couldn't have been that bad.
All right. So Gal Gadot is almost, but not quite. This is part of why she was a decent model, but not a supermodel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with her skin tone or her skin shade. There's several. Okay. So this image shows it better. Can we just get the picture?
Okay.
She's
a gorgeous woman, regardless.
Oh, she is very gorgeous. So her legs are fine.
I can agree with that.
Her shoulders are a little narrow. This might be a better image, actually, at least of her upper body. Why am I echoing? Her biggest problem. Okay, so where she lacks symmetry is right here. Okay, so if you look at, say, Elle Macpherson or Heidi Klum or who was the other German? Claudia Schiffer. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I know Kate Moss was a big. Kate Moss to me was just a broom. I mean, she was so skinny, it was sickening.
Yeah, and I knew a girl that actually looked up to her, which is crazy.
Yeah. So, here's the problem. especially when she started working out and actually got a butt as opposed to, Brie Larson. So then you look bottom heavy. I don't know if there's I might have to do a butt search. I don't know. That's my only problem is she has somewhat of a butt, not a whole lot. She's still very skinny. Even as Wonder Woman, she's too thin. But it makes her look less proportionate up top. But my biggest problem is her shoulders. Now, if we're going to talk about Wonder Woman build, is this her actually as Wonder Woman, or is this some? Good God, it's small. It's tiny. Her biggest problem was her shoulders. Her shoulder development, her deltoids in particular right here were very, very lacking. And when I looked at her body, I guess this is her in the movie. To me, her body screamed of high rep, low weight. Okay. And for an Amazon woman, this isn't going to work. This is also what they call skinny fat. When you look at her legs, they get too soft. Okay. Now, I'm going to compare that. So if I can remember the website, this was a website I was actually had on earlier. If you look at this young woman, I know she's modeling. Okay, forget that this is a site for stuff, but if you look at her quad development, this is a little bit too much for me, but not a whole lot. And you look at Gall, she doesn't have any definition at all. It's just thin. And then now her shoulders are okay here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but her deltoids are better. So I don't know. Well, I have no idea what I'm getting into here. I need to order some stuff from this site as a supplement standpoint. But I know this was a quick search. I knew that, I don't know who this is, but I knew that if Gall had this kind of definition with slightly less quad definition, she would look better as Wonder Woman. So you would see more definition here in the deltoids, and you'd see just a hint of quadricep development, which you don't see at all on her. You can still do that and still look lean. You have to do a hybrid workout where some workouts are very heavy and 5 reps a set, and other workouts are lighter, but they're not in the 12 to 15 rep range. If I were to guess, just based on her way she looks compared to way she looks in what was the earlier movie? She was in some other movie. She was even thinner. I mean, she looked like she was anorexic, really.
I think she was in one of the Fast and the Furious.
Right, Fast and Furious. That's what I was trying to think of. So we have some muscle development, but not much. And she actually has a video where she's like flexing, and it's like, oh, look, I can push. She looks like someone who's doing reps in the 12 to 15 reps a set. Okay. And doing a medium speed. So we'll say probably 1 second positive and 1 second negative. That is great for an overall body workout to get you in shape. It is not good for anything else. So it's not going to give you much definition. It'll just kind of tone you slightly, but not enough. But now, obviously, no workout's going to help here, but it is going to help here and here. So she has the hints of muscles, but actually not. And that's my biggest problem. I don't really care that she's just a 34A too much compared. I mean, Linda Hamilton obviously is my Wonder Woman from when I was a kid. And she has similar problems. And it's because she's a model or a former model. So they have a mindset that's different, and they're very persnickety when it comes to working out anything that's going to make them look bulky. And MJ can probably attest to that. Women will go, oh my God, I don't want to look bulky. Look, lifting weights, unless you're eating a crap ton and lifting a lot of weight, you're not going to look bulky. But donuts will make you look bulky.
I'll tell you this much. I'm not working out and I'm very bulky.
Here,
so I'll let that sink in.
See, now here I'll show you a young woman who I think went too bulky. Okay, to be fair. And I followed her on YouTube a while back. So Meg squats She's about MJ's size, height wise. Now, I don't like that she's constantly doing sumo deadlifts. This actually engages fewer muscles. It lets you lift more weight, but it actually hampers growth. But if she likes it, that's fine. Okay. Obviously, this is somewhere an area where Gal needs more work because she doesn't do enough squatting and not lunging. But the problem is, no, I shouldn't say problem. Where I'm like, yeah, you're a little too bulky, but she's eating for bulk. Okay. You have to eat a lot of stuff, and she's doing fairly heavy weights. So she's gotten quite large in many ways. And then what happens with, here we go. There's a video of her. So 280 pounds. Let's see if she's doing so that is an actual squat. That's a low bar squat. And 280 is actually more than I do because I'm lazy. Now her knees came in. That was actually almost like a 1 rep max. I can tell from her. I don't know who that young lady is, but if we want to really break down. So she's got a belt on, which I don't use a belt yet because I'm not heavy enough. So we have 2 45-pound plates, looks like a 25 and a 5. I still haven't figured out what exactly a spotter's supposed to do if all hell breaks loose. They ain't going to do nothing but get in the way. Okay, now watch her knees at the bottom. So she's got, looks like knee pads or compression socks. So right now, you see how her knees are out? Her butt sits down. This is a low bar squat, exactly where I need to be. The elbows should probably be a little bit higher behind her, but that's just being picky. But watch as she starts to come back. So right now, the bar is not level. Okay, so she's gotten actually a little bit of a problem on her right side, but watch her knees as they come up. Let's see if I can do this. Let's play back at half speed.
I forgot YouTube can still do these things.
What? Right there. So her right leg has already come in to compensate because she was not level. So her knees have come together. This is why I say I think this is probably I'm not listening to any audio. You see I'm muted. This is probably a 1 rep max type setup, which is fine. I'm not complaining. Which I like to see. It's real effort. Now this young lady's got some serious lat development, some serious deltoid development. I mean, look at the striations right there. Veins popping out of her neck. So she's really pushing hard. And then as she gets to here, as she's starting to straighten up, her knees go apart, which is good because that means it's tough, but it's not impossible. If the knees stay together, that means you're lifting way too much weight. And then she finishes fine. So there you go. See, I'm very upset. I want all the bulk. Look, if you keep squatting, look, MJ, if you eat enough protein and be careful with the carbs. More and more, we're finding we don't need carbs. Unless you're running marathons, you don't really need many carbs. At the very bottom, I'm heavy, but I have thick thighs, so it balances out. Well, that's fine. Never happened, but I'm looking to get thick. Yeah, it's the deadlift. If you look, especially in the lower body, the squats are going to work your quads, lower back, your core, and your butt, and then deadlifts will work it in the opposite direction. So here, a squat is really a push. Most people don't understand it. Right? You go down now she's taking a breath and then holding it, pushing out. So really you're controlling the weight down, and the squat is a push. And then her knees come together and up she goes. And the deadlift is a pull. So here's Meg. Big breath. This is a part of, see now, I don't know, LMP, if you can tell, but you see where she has her elbows. See how they're far back and up. That is a better hold for the low bar squat. Now, low bar squat is right on the spine of the scapula, which you can't tell from this angle. If it was high bar, it'd be more up on the traps. And she is standing a little bit upright for a low bar squat start, but not much. I think Mark Ripito might complain a bit more than I do. I don't complain so much. To me, the low bar squat now, you can complain. She initiates this with a knee movement. Watch. The knees move out first before the hips. Mark Ripito will say the hip and the butt need to drop first. But that is, I mean, and her knees are coming together too. Now her knees stay together further than the other girl. And she's got her head up, which is really reminiscent of a high bar squat. Right where she's looking at the end is where she should be looking the whole time. So let's look at this young lady's face to see if she's looking about 4 feet in front of her, because that's where she should be looking the entire time for a low bar squat. Now people will do that. She is excellent. So low bar squat people tend to do because you can lift more weight. It is a very, very similar bar path to and body position to a deadlift, a regular deadlift. So some people are like, well, then it doesn't help as much, but to me, it complements the deadlift. So now we have from behind, but again, this is where Gall doesn't, this is where I can tell she's not doing heavy enough work on walking lunges and squats, because her butt did not develop. And this is the same problem Brie Larson has, by the way, that Scarlett Johansson does not. Now, I understand genetics plays a part. Okay. I'm not going to dispute that. But there we go. Good bar path, 2 parallel, back up, and then re-rack. It's right there where she has the bar there. If you can reach back behind your back there, on your back there, LMP, on your shoulder blade, you'll feel a ridge. Now, when your arms are normal, this ridge is about a 45-degree angle. When you pull back and have your hands in this position, her elbows are in a better position this time. These bones will form a straight line that you can put the bar on right there.
I was going to say these women, well, I might as well just come out and say it. Nice butt definition there for both of them.
Absolutely, both of them. But that's what heavy lifting, squats, they probably do walking lunges. I'm only guessing. Walking lunges will help, and deadlifts from the floor, not Romanian deadlifts will help, but the Romanian deadlifts are really helping more the hamstring or this area here. Good mornings will help this part of the back, which can help with your so if you do good mornings on a day you're not doing squats, it's this lower back part right here that you're helping, which helps to structure. So, but yeah, if I wouldn't have gotten so lazy, I would have been at 285 like 2 months ago, and I don't need a belt to do it. But these young ladies, they're short. I think Meg is only like 5'1" or 5'2" at most, which helps because the range of motion is short. But what I like the most is that they're doing a full range of motion. There's a lady, I forget her name. She's a bodybuilder. She'll do like 315 pounds, but she'll go down 12 degrees. She won't even do a third of a rep. And it's like, okay, so now she's doing feet together. I've never seen her do this. Hold on. This looks like, let's see, 225, 275, it looks like 280 to me. I don't know what it really is, but it looks like 280. That is almost textbook perfect, up and down. And she's doing reps. So is arching right there. So she's not pushing her feet together to lift. So there's a slight arch, but here's my problem, LMP. Because of my femurs, my are so long, it is extremely hard for me to keep. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Let's go back to when she reset. We're probably boring people to tears, but Monica probably knows what we're talking about. So her back is fairly flat. Okay. So she pulls her shoulders together right at the start. Her back is fairly flat. There's only a very small curvature, very small. My problem is for me to be like this, because my femurs are so freaking long, I can't reach the bar properly to get my back that flat. because my problem is my femurs, like my knee is like here, because my femurs comparatively, let's say if you have a better body type, my femurs are longer than they should be. If my tib fit, now there you can really see how flat her back is. She now takes all the tension out of the bar, and then so you kind of shrug your shoulders up and then move. Boom. And stand up. You don't have to hyperextend your hips at the top. That is a misnomer. So there you go. Well, and MJ, if you want to join, I'll send you the link. If you want to join and talk to us, that's fine. That is perfectly fine.
See, she never gets to talk gym or sports ball. See, Labe, you're doing her a service.
Yeah. This is where, I mean, I can be a computer nerd for a long time. Now, so this is sumo, but this is okay. So this is actually a momentum pull that power lifters use. So it's very slight. So her butt's way up in the air, but look where her legs are. She's not touching the bar. Now she doesn't move the weights, but the guys that lift like 1,100 pounds, you'll see the bar move along the ground. Now, I'm not saying they're cheating. I'm just saying they're using a slight momentum. So that looks like, to me, that looks like 275. That would be my guess. 275 pounds. It looks like 245s and a 25-pound plate. And that is enough to bend the bar. Now, with the problem with the sumo is, I forget exactly, there's a mechanical disadvantage when it comes to muscle engagement. But you can actually move more, but you have a much shorter range of motion. Now, she's doing, okay, now this is getting, well, she's going 280 again. But she's got cross grip. And this is where, and I have to use this too often. Now, my gym, we don't have chalk. If we had chalk, it would be awesome. Okay, sorry, it doesn't work on your phone. That's fine. But a cross grip like this, while it improves grip strength, okay, which is why I use it, you do have to know that it does cause a rotation in the shoulders, because you have one hand up and one hand down. So one hand is essentially pulling up and the other hand is wanting to push down. The rotation wants to happen from the side that the palm is up. So in this case, Meg has got her right hand up like this. So it is going to cause a slight rotation from the right side if she's not careful. Okay, just so you know that. And all you have to do is, that means when you start to engage, you keep your left shoulder more locked than you would, and you won't rotate. So yeah, I did. It's been months ago, but I did do 285 for reps. So I did 5 sets, a set of 5. So that's awesome. I've never seen Meg do regular deadlifts. I'm glad to see she's not doing sumo anymore. Because the thing with sumo is you can move more weight, but if you're looking to build muscle, it actually is. It's not detrimental. What is the right word I'm looking for? You're basically cheating yourself. You can improve your ego a little bit, but if you do it regular, you actually get more benefit from it.
So
now this is a leg press. This is a leg press. I've heard about, but I've never seen anybody doing it. I didn't even know they still had these. Okay. I don't know how much math you want me to do here. This is full work. Okay. Work is defined by the weight that you move over a distance relative to the cosine of the angle. Cosine of the angle to gravity. So at 90 degrees, it's full on. At 45 degrees, it's less. Okay. This is awesome. This will also help if, depending on where your foot movement, and this right here will also build your butt and your hamstrings, the lying leg curl. This is unbelievably hard. You do a sitting leg curl, you can do a lot of weight. You do a lying leg curl, and you'll be amazed at how little you need. My only gripe, no, let me take it back. Let me look at that again. Too short.
Don't mind me if you hear any background noise.
That's
I'm
fine.
kind of doing a
Yeah,
few
her negatives are a little too fast. That's my only gripe. Now on the hair, she's doing negatives perfectly. Looks like she's got. That looks like 135 pounds total. That's my guess. Can't see the other side of the weight though. But a 90-degree leg press, I didn't even know they still had those machines. I've never been to a gym that had them. Never. And I've always wanted to try. Because it's basically, you fail, you crush. That's why they don't have them. Most places have a sled at a 45-degree angle. So I don't know what the heck she's saying. We want to see the other girl's butt. Get out of the way. That also build your butt. But
you want to see another girl's butt.
Yeah, but to see, that's part of what's missing from Gal's workout. When I look at her, she just looks like someone who, and this is stereotypical of the workouts that they do for these various movies, where they take somebody in okay shape, they put a little bit of muscle on them, but not as much as they could. Not unless it's something like, The Rock, or, someone who's a bodybuilder who knows what they're doing, and they just need a bit more guidance. But some of these, some of the stuff they do, like Chris Hemsworth did stuff a bit more intense than what Zach, what's his name, did for Shazam.
Levy?
Yeah, Zach Levy. Although he looks good. I saw him in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. He was in the season 2 of that, and he actually looks much bigger than he did under Chuck. But that's part of the problem. So if he's going to do a role like that, where he's going to gain 45 pounds of muscle, he's going to be far less lanky. I mean, me in high school, I was pretty much like Chuck. What is she doing? Those look like, what is that, 30 pounds? She's not curling it. Now, when I was her age, so here's the thing. You asked what's a buff lape look like. I actually was taking a supplement back when my early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. I was actually my current weight, but a 31-inch waist and an 18-inch neck. And I actually still have shirts from when I was that size that look like they're like a tent on me. But I couldn't afford $40 a month for the supplements 20 years ago. So I can't afford that now either. It was it's still in the market, but it's not. It was a growth hormone inducer. It was an effervescent thing, and I got it on sale. Basically, I paid for 1 month and got 3 months worth, and it made a huge difference. And I wish I could have continued it. But I was 215, 31-inch waist, 18-inch neck. And when I went off of it, I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and people noticed.
Of course they would.
And my waist went back up to 34. And so it's the thing is, it wasn't, water. See, now her arms are huge. But see, so a lot of that is what she's eating. Now, I'm not going to say she's on male growth hormone because I don't know, but a lot of it's genetics too. If you don't have the genetics for that, no matter how hard you train, you're not going to get that big without, we'll say, pharmaceutical supplementation. But a lot of these women do take male growth hormones. And let's see, let me hear Meg talk.
All I heard was
she still sounds female. But but sometimes they take it and you can tell because their voice gets really low. Like what?
What?
Pistol squats are my new favorite. Yes. I have tried. I do not have the balance. I probably ought to do it anyway because I ski. Now she's doing her powerlifting bench press, which I absolutely hate. That high arch and all that other stuff. That just hurts my back watching it. But yeah, I remember you saying you followed Brie's workout, and it was pretty easy. Yeah, well, that's the thing that I noticed with the stuff that I did on my video of it. She was doing these pull-ups. There were these so-called hero pull-ups, but they were lame. I was like, you're not doing anything. So,
well, think of it like this. It's so a more educated person, they can obviously tell, hey, look, that's not impressive at all. In fact, what you're doing is, like you say, cheating yourself out of actual results. Whereas the more casual person looks at that and is like, oh my God, look at Brie Larson. She can fucking lift herself up. Yeah, I know that was a little too dead on, but sue me.
yeah. Well, I can do pull-ups like that when I bring my knees up. I mean, I've never been able to do a pull-up effectively. And
No, neither can I.
yeah, well, friends of mine who from high school, okay, this guy when years ago, it's been about 5 or 6 years ago now, when we had a reunion down in Atlanta. And one of the guys I was talking to, he actually went into the army after high school. He's a year older than I am, but he's about 6'3", 6'4". He had a very similar build in high school. He may have been another 10 pounds heavier than I was in high school, but very tall, lanky. And even after basic training, he could barely do enough pull-ups. And it's because of our body size and our arm length and the length that it is and the actual amount of strength that it takes to do that. And now these guys all have big, they got beer bellies, but they look skinny everywhere else. And that's the problem. We have a body frame and metabolism that is thin, that does not like to hold on to muscle. And that's the problem. Okay. And not only is it my laziness, I mean, as MJ was saying in the chat, I can go out and if I do 6 weeks pretty hardcore, I'll get my weights back up. I will, I'll start to push 220. Okay. My body fat will drop. My pants will fit a little better. Well, in the waist, but everywhere else they'll feel horrible. My quads, all I have to do is walk by a squat rack and my quads go, okay. My shoulders won't look like I touch weights. In particular, this is also why I'm more sensitive to Golgodot's lack of deltoid development, because this is a problem spot for me. So I know how much effort it takes for me to do anything. I mean, I can do those things out to the side until my arms fall off, and it won't make any freaking difference. So, and a lot of what you see in my, I'm actually a little bit bigger than I look because I wear baggy clothes a lot. But my upper body, and then this shoulder, constantly has problems, has had for years. I probably should have had it looked at a long time ago. So bench press is horrible. There's times, man, I'll deadlift quite a bit, I'll squat quite a bit, and my bench press looks like I'm just starting last week. So, and then if I stop going, certain areas, it drops pretty quickly, and my shoulders and the deltoids are where it drops the quickest, and in my pecs too. So I can do dumbbells. Speaking of which, hold on. So EVS was showing his toys. Oh, I can't do this. It's been too long. It's a 40-pound dumbbell. So there you go. I did curl it off the floor though.
Yeah, her workout was a lot of cable work. See, that's what I'm saying. Like for like people like yourselves that know better, you'll obviously look at that and say, well, listen, that's just cheating. Like that's not really gonna produce any results. She's just basically flexing for the camera. But of course, this is Disney and Brie Larson and God knows her publicist or whatever. What do you ever call those people? Those PR people. Yeah. They're gonna just say, hey, look, she can do this, but there's probably people out there that can't. So that makes her a superwoman in our eyes. And of course, that gasses her up. And now she thinks she's like this workout guru or something like shit like that.
Yeah. So, well, the thing with the cable workouts is you can get a great workout with the cable machines, in particular if they compensate.
Yeah.
So if you have, depending on the pulley system, you can have a 2-to-1 or a 4-to-1. I've seen some as high as 6-to-1 advantage. Mm-hmm. So if they say 30 pounds, okay, let's say that you're supposed to be pulling 30 pounds. And if it's not compensated, it's an actual 30 pounds. But if you've got a 4-to-1 ratio with the pulleys, you're lifting 15, right? Mm-hmm. If it's compensated and it knows it's 4-to-1, you're actually, the weight on the other end is actually 120 pounds, but it feels like 30 to you.
Right.
So you can get a decent workout, but again, all you're getting is leaned out. There's never been anybody who's won a muscle building competition working on Nautilus equipment exclusively, at least that I know of. Everybody has to at least hit the weights at some point, because what the Nautilus and all those cable stuff help you with isolation, which is good for building some strength and definition, but quite often to really start moving stuff, you actually have to have the secondary muscles engaged, which means you can't do it in isolation. And that's where you get the larger body structure. So, but yeah, it's a lot. It depends on the celebrity. But you know, what's his face who played Wolverine, you know, he lifted quite a bit of weight in a video.
Hugh Jackman.
It seems to me that most of the men many times take it more seriously.
Well, I mean, look at Hugh Jackman. I think Hugh Jackman wasn't a buff guy prior to the Wolverine thing. He was actually just, I guess, fairly average looking. Then when they did the role, like, he really took that role. Listen, that man took that role serious. And you know how I feel about that movie Logan. So that's all I got to say.
Right. No, he did. He took it seriously. And hold on, I gotta send my son a message.
It's fine. Just remember, people, that was not a prime choice for a lot of people. And that man said, well, you know what? I'm going to look like Logan. And the fuck he did. Yeah. Great job, Hugh Jackman.
But it's the thing with weightlifting, it's like any other sport, okay? Right? There are people who are unbelievably naturally talented for baseball or football or, you know, hockey, anything, right? Any sports endeavor. And if they work at it really hard, they go from really good to great. And every once in a while, you'll get someone who's mediocre who works at extremely hard to get to great, like Jerry Rice. Okay. He on paper, he just looks average, but on the field, he uses his brain more, and lo and behold, he gets open. He was, you know, during his career, he could get open when paper says he shouldn't be able to do anything. Again, and that's where right. So that's where a lot of it is. So Hugh Jackman may have had some nice genetics that when he started actually doing weight training, it made a difference. And now, granted, unless you have genetics where you don't process protein at all, you start lifting weights, you're going to get stronger. But I don't have the genetic capability of being an Arnold Schwarzenegger, nor do I have the mindset. Okay.
Well, I have no idea what my genetic capabilities are, and I'd rather not find out because I feel like I'll be disappointed. But I could tell you this much.
But it'll help you, man.
Well, see, these are the things. I really don't know much about this sort of thing, and I wouldn't even know who to ask around my area. So I would basically have to start looking. I would need to get some advice from somebody that knows about this sort of thing, where to even start. Other than that, I'm your typical average. Let's see, what am I, like 5'8" maybe tops? Round bellied Hispanic male. So that's all you need to know. Oh, and just so we're clear, I look a lot different than the photo now than then. Not in the good way, but a lot.
Well, to be fair too, that was at 320p, and I had to blow it up so it was distorted. But yeah, it was still an actual mistake. And MJ, what you have to. I actually used to blog about my workouts. I haven't done it in years, but back when I was only in my mid 40s, early 40s, I did stuff. You have to check some of those postings out on my website because I used to go about talking about what I was doing. A lot of my problem was I got a lot of misinformation when I was younger, and I did a lot of workouts that for my body type was wrong, and it took me a long time to figure that out. Because there were a lot of times I was doing a lot of those high rep workouts, but they only work if you're eating a crap ton of protein. And some of the stuff you get, now granted, Muscle and Fitness and Ironman and these other magazines I used to read, you got a lot of information out of stuff that people are saying now where, oh yeah, we need to eat more fat, and oh yeah, we need to do this and that. They were saying that 20, 25 years ago in the muscle building magazines. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that for nutrition, because I would read something in Ironman and even not Muscle and Fitness. What was the other one I used to read? There was Pump magazine was out for a while, not Flex. It was Anyway, then I would read Muscle Fitness and I'd be like, you guys are 10 years behind the times. And now I used to do some Forex stuff, which again, Steve Holman is a retired bodybuilder. He's got to be in his 60s now. But when I was reading this stuff, I was in my 40s. Yeah, the Forex stuff helps, but only if you already had a higher level of strength that you were starting to lose. My problem is I didn't have that higher level of strength. So when I switched to a 5x5 type thing, and actually the best I actually had, it was a few years ago when I started doing squats every day. But that actually helped. And it's not like you're doing heavy squats every day. Like one day you're doing heavy, the next day you're doing 3 sets. That's it, right? Some days you're doing 3 sets at 80% of your 4-rep max. And that's it. Then you're doing whatever else. That made the biggest difference in my body structure, probably in the last 15 years. Okay, we had to do weight training in high school and college, plus all the competitions I did. We had to work out for endurance, so I'm learning a lot in my younger years. Yeah, and that's a lot of that's. See, this is also the things that Mark Ripito talks about. Even in the military, when they devise these physical fitness things that the troops do, they were done in the 50s when most of the people were working out like on the farm or in a factory or something. So these young men that were joining the Army in particular at 18 already had some base strength, but they didn't have the endurance. So being able to do 20 pull-ups or whatever it is, and so many sit-ups and run a mile in so many minutes, that was fine for someone who had a base strength. But when nowadays, especially in the last 20 plus years, so many of them like me, I just sit on my butt all day at work, right? I'm not right. I'm not working in a warehouse where I'm lifting stuff and putting stuff on shelves and moving stuff around.
Again, you're telling me.
Right. So imagine someone like me. Well, and I was always, and I was skinny even when I was a kid. Yeah. A pull-up. I don't have the strength to do a pull-up. But had I been out, working on a farm, maybe, and I was lifting hay bales all day and throwing those around, I probably could do a pull-up. Especially a hay bale full of water. Thing's like 40 pounds. Imagine lifting that over your head by the rope, right? You can't just grab it. You grab it by the rope and then you push it up over your head. I mean, you're basically doing a deadlift. You're doing a clean and jerk, really. So you do a deadlift up and then you push it, and then overhead press, and then you put it somewhere.
Well, listen, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not exactly the most upper body, I'll say, strongest person out there when it comes to arm strength, but shoulder strength, back strength, I'm pretty good at what I have done, and lifting boxes, tossing stuff when I used to work in the warehouses, and I'll tell you this much though, especially one thing that gets neglected around these parts is fucking leg day. God, you see some of these guys around here, all torso, all upper body. Those legs look like twigs. You're waiting for the moment where you see this person's bodies, like their legs snap underneath them. And I've seen also some pretty heavy set guys, all top heavy. I'm pretty sure if they're pushing at least 300 pounds, 200 of that alone has to be in the upper body, and everything else below waist. And you see these guys, they could barely move with the leg strength that they got. And I'm actually in a different boat where I actually got pretty decent and pretty good leg strength to carry my sorry fat ass around. But also, when you were talking about somebody like that, if you do repetitive activity and stuff like that and how that helps. So, I'm pretty, I may not be the most fit guy, but I do a lot of walking. So I can, and standing around and stuff like that. So I can actually stand and walk for hours. And there are people that are like half my weight that look in shape, can barely walk a couple blocks without getting tired. And again, that's not even a stamina thing. That is just what you do, like you were talking about a second ago. If you start lifting bundles of hay all day, hay all day, and start tossing around, after a while, yeah, that's how it works. So there is a little bit, there's a lot to it. Yep, I'll have 2 girls next to me in the squat racks and 14 guys on the cables and free weights.
Yeah. Well, see, that's a gym I want to go to because that's the opposite of my gym. Well, here's what I notice. Okay, Well, I haven't seen this guy in a long time. This was a young guy that used to go to the gym especially I worked out in the evenings.
Oh God, that was funny.
It was unbelievable. I would see him like 3 or 4 times a week. Okay. And every time it was some kind of upper body stuff. It was bench press. He did very little back work, a little bit of overhead press, but his legs looked like he couldn't squat 180 pounds.
Jesus.
And he was like 6 feet tall. And it was like, and then one day I saw him in there because I actually put it on Twitter. It's like, oh, it's Never Leg Day guy is here again. And I actually saw him doing stuff once. And he had 200 and some odd pounds doing a squat. Okay. But he did not get to 25. I mean, he didn't even get halfway to parallel. And he was like, oh, yeah. And you know, I killed that. I'm like, I can put 450 pounds on the barbell and do a rep like he was doing minimum. And at the time I was only squatting maybe 215, 220. I was around body weight. Okay. And because that's the thing is I'm so up and down with this is like I'll make good gains and then something will happen. And then once ski season starts, you go spend 8 hours in ski boots. It's really tough to get up the next day and go do squats. Okay. It's really tough.
I'm pretty sure. Listen, I've seen those boots.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure if I ever were to give that a shot, I'd be fucking exhausted the next day.
But I couldn't believe it. It was like, you know, I don't know if he thought he was doing squats or not, but it was like, but it was so stereotypical. It was like, yep. But he could bench press like 260 or something. But you know, it was like, well, anyway. And I've never been able to bench press my body weight. There's always been something that has failed, and recently it's been my shoulder. Well, MJ, to work out with you, I'd have to go all the way down to another state. Although I live a lot closer than Pete, so.
Well, I liked what she said afterwards that Pete will be so jealous. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, she got to deal with a guy who is basically on a first name basis with God and Ball Towers. So that's a pretty tough choice.
Yeah, and what is it? Pete was saying last night that you rep Bucked Up. Is that right? Are you a sponsor of theirs, or you work for them, or? Now I'm trying another bottle. I had my son fetch me out the other 2017 bottle of the 120 IPA. It's still cold. Now this one is, so this is the pour. Let me see. I can't read it. Somewhere on the neck is the date.
Somewhere on the neck is the date. I'm pretty sure I can name a couple people I know where that's literal.
It's right there, but it's not bright enough down here for me to read it.
Also literal. Boy.
That's why I had to post my sponsor code if you liked it. Yeah. When I do my video, and I'm probably I should be able to do it tomorrow, and then I'll post it. I'll let you know if I do it tomorrow. I'll send you a message, MJ, that it'll be posted. It should go out Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. See, now that one doesn't taste as good as the other one. I still contend that October batch from 2017 is not that good. I mean, it's okay, but it's not as good as the other one. I'll let it warm up. But yeah, I'll put whatever links you need me to put in the description. Hey, I'm echoing a lot with you, LMP.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it might be because I'm on mobile or whatnot.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's also you may hear some background noise because again, I wasn't expecting to be I'm not on. I didn't set up like my. I have wireless earphones, so I could usually use those to use on the mic. But since I can hear you clearly like this, I really don't want to kind of screw that up. So that's why you probably may hear some background noise. I don't know if that's causing the echo, but I'm actually trying to set up something right now because after we're done with the stream, I'm gonna take a photo of everything I got from Comic-Con last week and just kind of take a quick photo and show it to you guys because it's a lot. it's a lot. You're gonna be surprised. I mean, probably surprised, probably not, of all the crap that I bought, and probably how much I spent.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been saving for this event back when I got the tickets in May, so I was gonna have fun, and I did. And I mean, there were some hiccups that unfortunately may change how I feel about Comic-Con going forward in the future. So,
right. Did you see any of the videos that Jeremy and did on Comic-Con?
nah, I really, I'm gonna say, I will say this: I barely have ever watched any videos like anything like supercuts or covering anything about a Comic-Con. Even like the panel stuff. I actually did win a lottery to a panel, but I had to leave because that was the night I was going to watch Joker. So yeah, I'll say this much: at least it was worth it going to Joker. So I'm not mad about missing out on that panel. Y'all coming down here for one? I don't know if she's talking to you.
Is there a Comic-Con in Nashville? You in Nashville or Memphis?
Probably might be. I mean, they're pretty much all over the place now, which is a cool thing and also a not so good thing.
I could go down and visit my cousin.
Of course.
She moved down there recently.
Lape's got family all over in the world.
Tennessee Comic-Con dates, Nashville. Is it? Well, there's one in Knoxville too. I mean, look. What the heck? Get out of my way. Fanboy Expo, Knoxville Comic-Con, Tennessee. That's on October 18th. FanFest, Nashville. We have the Walker Stalker Con in Nashville in January. Looks like there's several the same weekend. I guess it's the same con. There's a Lego fan convention. Chattacon in Chattanooga. Cool.
That Lego one sounds interesting, especially did I ever show you I bought a few builds recently.
So is that January 4th in the 5th there, MJ? Let me know. Go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say, did I ever show you the it was supposed to be I ended up buying the sets that it was a Ford Mustang, a Harley Davidson, and they have this thing called Technic where basically you're assembling Lego set like vehicles that you can put batteries in and download the app and actually drive them like RC cars or operate them, that sort of thing.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Okay, so I gotta take photos. Well, basically right now what I'm doing is got a lot of crap in my room, and it's not really a big room, where I live. So, this kind of like Weeb's Paradise thing I got going on, I need to do a little bit of fixing and reorganizing and among other things. So once I kind of have it all sorted out, I will take more pics and show you guys pretty much the sets that I have. And it's really crazy because they recently came out with a new one, again, about that same Technic one, for a Land Rover. Looking pretty nice, and I'm actually considering getting that. But, I did just go on a splurge spree, so, yeah. I may have to back away from that one just for a bit.
End of May.
The con?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. I don't see one on this. This site is comicconsxyz.com. It looks in the US. It has stuff in January in Nashville. There's stuff in Chattanooga. And then it goes from February to July. It doesn't have anything in May.
Really?
So.
Well, I still have. I'm hoping. I'm not sure yet how things may go, but I'm really hoping to go check out San Diego next year. Me and my brother, he wants to definitely go see it. So we've never seen it. We want to see what it's like. Obviously, go visit California, the cesspool that it may or may not be.
Make sure you download the poop app so you know where not to step.
Oh man. That was the crazy part. I'm gonna the New Yorker in me is not gonna leave just because I'm in California. But there's part of me that's like, be careful what you say because you might get fined for it.
Right.
And here's the thing: even in New York City, I probably will get fined for it, but I know I can get away with it. California, I doubt it. My odds are not looking that good over there.
Yeah. So from where I am, well, that's downtown. Let's see where it looks like a 4-hour drive to Nashville.
If I had the unlimited funds, I would go to all these places. I really would. Fortunately, I do not.
Yeah, going from my house 4.5 hours to Nashville. So I'm looking. So Tennessee Comic Con fans. Okay, this is a different website. So
it's the first one they're having there. Oh.
I still don't see anything about. You may have to send me a link because I don't see anything. 2020, you dumbass. That might help. Nashville Comic Con, May 30th and 31st. There's a Facebook page about it. I'm guessing that's what she's talking about.
Probably.
It takes me 10 to get to my, end of May. Well, that took me back to the other site, but that doesn't have anything about that one. What about, so there's a Facebook page. So looks like Nashville Comic Con, May 30th and 31st, 2020 at the fairgrounds.
Well, that still sounds pretty cool. I mean, you should go, MJ. I mean, especially if it's the first one, you should go check it out and tell everybody else how awesome or terrible it was.
I got to find out when Star Wars, I think Star Wars Celebration is in, I think it's in August. I got to find out when that is. As far as I know, I'm still going.
So. Well, let us know how awful or good it is. Listen, at this point, anything Star Wars related, I'm glad I'm not a fan, because if I was, I would be feeling the same way all of you guys feel. Listen, I already feel that. I already feel a certain way about my favorite franchises and stuff like that. So I only can say I can only feel for you guys if Star Wars starts sucking even more than it already does. I really do.
Yeah. That's what I got to get a better camera than this. That's what I was showing in this live stream. I got this. I don't even know where I got this thing. It's 5 megapixel, but I want to use it for something. I mean, this is my normal camera. Whoops. And my lens.
So you were really that drunk? You don't know how you got this camera?
I don't remember. So most of my videos, when you see me on this is what I'm using. This is what I used at, believe it or not, with this lens is heavy as crap. This is mostly glass and metal. This is an almost $2,000 lens. So this is in the prosumer line. It's not a $4,000 pro lens, but it's pretty good. It's an in lens, but it's heavy. So I know there's a lot of movement in my video from Star Wars Celebration, but that's because it's this lens. This is, and I only have a D7000, so I only can do 1080p at 24 frames per second. But no, if you I'm missing too many. I did. Pete and Loudy are joining what?
I think she's saying that Pete and Loudy are going to join her for the con.
Okay.
So all I can say, MJ, is keep Loudy away from anything having to do with butts over there.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, send me a link in Facebook and stuff directly, or send in my email or whatever, and I'll see, because it's a 4.5 hour. It's not bad, and especially if Loudy goes, he and I can carpool if I can go too, so we can figure out something like that. Yeah, I haven't been to Nashville. I've only been through Nashville. I went to Memphis years ago for when I lived in Knoxville. We had the class of '87 did an all class reunion in '97 and I lived in Knoxville at the time, in Memphis. And then I've driven around Nashville, going to not Fort Knox. What's the other one? No, Fort Knox. No. What's the my cousin used to live there. Gee whiz. It was an army post that's actually straddles the take the last train to Clarksville and the shoulder leave the station.
I'm about to start my shoulders really hard right now on that one.
Yeah, what is the oh, frack. What is the name of that? Come on, LMP, help me out. What's the Army base just north of Nashville?
Okay, it's not Fort Knox, is it?
No. Well,
Okay.
I mean, that's north, but that's in Kentucky.
Okay. I don't know, Fort Briggs, I'm just throwing.
Fort Briggs.
Listen, I'm just throwing out random names at this point, okay?
Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg. I'm sorry, okay? Listen, I've also been like really tired and I'm forgetting things.
Yeah, so there's Clarksville. I know it's near Clarksville. That's why I was singing the monkey song.
She's saying Fort Campbell.
Fort Campbell. There you go. Yeah.
See, thank you, MJ.
So Fort Campbell actually, yeah, it's I think the post office is actually in Kentucky, but it straddles the state line. Yeah, we went out years ago because my dad's retired Army, and we stopped there on the way out to Missouri. And my parents, the first few years my dad was retired, every once in a while my parents would go to Fort Campbell and buy stuff at the PX and crap. So anyway, what are you doing?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I told you I'm gonna be doing some stuff. You're gonna hear some stuff in the background.
I know you said some stuff. It sounds like you're packing or something. I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, the con, I was at the con for all 4 days. And that was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that means I really didn't get a chance to, clean up my place or organize some stuff. So I'm kind of catching up, a week later. So if you hear a lot of background noise, I said already, I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to at least tidy up a little bit if I must. On top of that, I've been extremely tired lately. I mean, I think I've been working OT since, I've been working OT since like fucking June in my job, which is great because it's part of the reason why I even got to enjoy Comic-Con the way I did, and other things that I really wanted to enjoy. But at the same time, it I mean, mentally and physically, I'm like in another world. So if you hear me, I'm already been slurring my speech the whole night. And that's me at rested.
Overtime can be great if you get paid for it.
Well, no, we get paid for it. Thank God. Listen, I'm gonna say this much: as I criticize and badmouth New York City, thank God at least they take the labor law serious around here.
Yeah.
Granted, they are really broken also. So
when I worked at Whitman Hart, man, I was working overtime all the time and not getting paid for any of it.
So thankfully I work in this case the private sector, because in the private sector they have to follow these type of rules. Mm-hmm. I know they're not, and again, it also has to do with what kind of job I do. So
yep. If you're salary or if you're hourly, there's a big difference. I mean, I was salary. That's how come I didn't get paid for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Salary, forget it. That's why they usually tell me, for the most part, try to avoid salary, because you could put in ridiculous amounts of hours and you'll never see an extra dime for it. Whereas if you're hourly, you could put in all the hours in the world and you'll start making as much. You're making more than the guy that weekly than the guy that makes salary.
Yeah.
So
salary is great if they, it's different if you're working overtime every once in a blue moon. I mean, being in software development, sometimes when you go live with, they say, a huge update, you may have to do some overtime. But that's not the norm. But yeah, I've worked some places where that was the norm, and it was years ago. I worked at Mycom, and and a couple other consulting firms that I was at. It was you were somewhat in between, right?
Right.
But they would pay you a flat, so you wouldn't get time and a half or anything, but you would get at least straight time. And that was fine. As long as depending on the client, if the client lets you bill that, then it would pay you. But at Whitman Hart, it didn't freaking matter. And I was working some ridiculous hours. It wasn't as bad. Now, when I was at Mycom, there was a couple of times I was on two full-time projects at once. Almost destroyed my marriage, but we came out the other side a little bit stronger. But yeah, it was insane for about, 6 months. But I was paid, straight. So I was doing probably 16 hours a day, 15, 16 hours a day, did stuff on weekends, but I did make the money. So, I mean, that was at least something. But yeah, I was at MyCom and I'd be, Whitman Hart, and I'd be still in the office. I mean, dude, I pulled here's the most extreme example. Was in the office by 8:30. Okay. Had some stuff going on. We were trying to finish up this one guy and this guy lives in Indianapolis. He's an Indian dude.
Right.
We about 6:30, 7 o'clock that night, we believed we were this close. Okay. So we were working down on the river in Cincinnati. We walked across the Purple People Bridge, went and got something to eat. We had a couple beers, other stuff. We came back. We're thinking, man, by midnight, this is going to be awesome. We're going to be done. Midnight came and went. We weren't even close.
Oh, man.
Everybody came back to work. Okay. We're still there. Okay. No sleep. And he lived in Indianapolis and he was working in Cincinnati. He had to come to the office like 3 days a week. It was stupid. He should have been looking for another job, but since he was on a visa at the time, he didn't.
I mean, that's how things go sometimes.
Right. That's how they really screw you up. So somewhere around 1-ish o'clock, he decides I got to go home. So he drives home. Now, at the time, this is almost, this would have been 2004, I guess, 5. There was I think he had Sprint as his carrier. He got out into, there's a space in between Cincinnati and Indianapolis where he got like no cell coverage. And we were like, wait, is he still alive? He makes it home. Says, hey man, sends me a message. I'm home. I'm going to bed. I stay in the office. Everybody goes home again. Okay. And it was one of these things that felt like we were so. Now, the thing is the boss we had at the time, when he came in the morning and saw we were there all night, he said, you two mother effers, get out of here right now. I don't want to see you till tomorrow. That's what he should have done. Okay. But he was an ass bag. He didn't do that. He was a good guy in some ways and an ass bag in others. So everybody goes home. It's to be, and this is in the summertime. So it's like it's not dark until about 10 o'clock around here.
Right. Right.
I have now been up, I don't even know how long. And things still aren't working right. And we're trying to finish some stuff. It's not like it's gone live and people are, So I go to go home. So I pack up. I go across, so down. This was down on the riverfront in Cincinnati, underneath 471. So anybody that listens to this knows where I'm talking about. This is where I parked under 471 on the Ohio side. So I go to leave. I'm waiting for the light to change for me to cross the street, and I see things that I know do not exist. Okay. I'm like, I get a half, because this was on Eggleston. I had to cross Eggleston and it has a grass median. I walked halfway across and I'm like, there's no way I'm driving home. Okay. So I live north of the city and I'm down on the river. It's 40 minutes with no traffic. So I'm like, screw this. So I go back inside. I call my wife and I said, you are going to have to come get me. Because there are things out there that I know don't, and this is probably 9:30. It's not fully dark, but it's kind of dark. Our kids are little, because this has been like 2005, so this has been a good while ago. So she calls my parents because someone has to drive my car home. Okay, so she comes and gets me. My dad is flabbergasted that I've been at work 36 hours plus. Right. He's like, even in the military, they said there's no commanding officer that would put up with this. They would demand soldiers would go to bed. Right. So they drive me home. The whole time, apparently I was talking. I had no idea what I was talking about. I don't even remember. My wife's like, the next day, I have no idea. Don't remember. I barely remember getting home. So I get home. Here's what's really sucked, because I only had like maybe 2 cans of Coke. soda, whatever. I was, because at that time I was really, really, really off of caffeine, for pre-workouts and all that other nonsense. So I get home and it's, I looked at a few emails and some other crap, and it's like 11 o'clock and I'm running on adrenaline alone. And I'm still like, I want to make it work. So I'm logged in, I'm doing stuff. My wife's like, you get your butt to bed, Somewhere about 2 o'clock in the morning, I finally pass out. So by this time, so I was up at about 6 o'clock minimum. So I'm not quite, but close to 48 hours. Okay. So I set my alarm for like, I'm going to sleep into like 10. At 10 o'clock, I get up. I cannot see. My head hurts. I have to like walk sideways down the hallway, holding both sides of the wall. I come down, and I believe that I send an email that says, my head hurts. I'm going back to bed. I'll see how I am in a couple hours. I'll let you know, to my coworkers. Okay. And I go back to bed. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Satijit, the guy from Indianapolis, who's back in the office, calls me. Wants to make, my boss doesn't call me. My boss doesn't, this is where I'm saying this is the a-hole part of this, my former boss. Satijit calls me, wants to make sure, talks to I can hear him talking because it wakes me up. And so I talked to him. I said I sent an email that said I just had I had a headache, like someone was drilling my eyeball, right? With a spike or something.
Right. And
he's like, he starts laughing. He said, go read your email. Okay. Oh no. I knocked my headphones out. So I come down. At the time, I'm on a Windows machine. This is many years ago. So I come down. I look at my sent emails, and if I took my keyboard and smacked my head, is about the only way you could come up with. I don't know how I got their names right, but nothing in the email indicated I was conscious. Nothing. It was just random characters. It was literally like I just went bam, bam, bam with the keyboard. Okay. So I go back to bed. I come to work the next day. My boss wants to know what I'm going to put on my PTO report for the day I didn't show up for work. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was here for 32 hours and you want to know the day I'm not here, you want me to take a day off? Who's the human battery? Oh, we got more people. We got Slow Jones. Yo. Hey, I like your voice. It's nice. We have some people in the chat. Hey, people in the chat. I'm on my second bottle of this. So I'm actually quite buzzing pretty hard. I'm being like Cecil. Hello. I'm Cecil. So speak,
we
man.
got more people on chat. Yeah, you guys definitely caught us a great story of late and sleep deprivation, which actually, ladies and gentlemen, is a very serious thing. So if you, I think what is it that they said? I think it's like after how many hours of you're awake that's when you can start feeling it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is my boss should have, when he came in the next morning and we were still there working on something that didn't have to go live. This was granted, this is the conundrum of consulting, because the client, because they couldn't make up their freaking mind what they wanted, delayed a lot of stuff that should have been done months in advance. Okay. And at what point do you tell the client, look, my guys have been up all night, go shove it. Right. And that's what he should have. He when he came in at 8 o'clock in the morning and saw us still there, he should have said, you guys have till noon. And if you're still here, you're fired. That's what he should have said.
It would have been a great motivation to get your asses out of there.
Right. He said, I don't care if it works. He should have said, look, I'll give you a few more hours. I don't care if it's working or not. You're leaving at 12. If I have to drive you home myself. That's leadership. But most people are afraid of leadership. They want to do management, and it's easier to manage a situation than it is to lead.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this much: not exactly a manager or anything in my workplace, even though I have the quote unquote I guess, authority of one in a sense. But I can tell you, when it comes to the whole leadership thing, yeah, it's always people wanting to essentially give the orders, direct the orders, and stuff. But the thing about giving orders and directing orders and all that stuff is that there's a difference between giving them and like understanding why you're giving these orders and just giving them. So for example, like you telling someone, "Hey, I need you to do this," right? Okay, do you understand why you're telling them to do this? Like, do you understand why? Like, and it could be something simple, like, "Hey, I need you working over here." Let's say you're over there. Let's say you're in a try to use one of the experiences from one of my last jobs. So I used to work at I used to work in a retail store, right? It's back when I did retail for a little bit while I was trying to recover from another job that unfortunately did a number on me and trying to locate, just get myself back on my feet. And we had a bit of an asshat supervisor who, I'll say this much, he was a good worker, but an asshat in so many different ways. And what I didn't like was that they were always so indecisive about things. 1 minute, "Hey, we're gonna stack this stuff like this." Actually, no, we should do it like this. And it was like, "Yo, guy, you're always giving us these orders to do this and this other thing. We're kind of tired now. Like, we physically are tired. I need to go home. Like, I've been up all night. I don't work a regular schedule, so my schedule's all over the place. You only give me part-time hours. I really want to go home." And I've been up for, I think it was like, and this is the thing that always bothered me, that they promised I would leave. Like, let's say if I came in on a 10 p.m., to do an overnight shift, right? And they were like, "We promise you, you'll leave by 7 a.m., right?" And I would not leave that place till 12. I was like, "Yo, I am really tired." I would go home exhausted. And I would call him and tell him, "Listen, I cannot. I just cannot do a second day, another one of these in a row, especially when I don't have a set schedule. You guys are
Right.
like, just schedule it me, random days, random intervals. You cannot expect me to work my morning shift as well as this overnight shift. Like, listen, I just got tired, and it's one of the reasons why I ended up quitting, because there was no sense of consistency with the scheduling. And honestly, unfortunately, the thing is that in many of these jobs, and this is now me speaking on the management side of things, quote unquote, especially when you have to deal with clients, you have to unfortunately meet their demands, because you always know clients are very fickle. If you even so much as show any sense of like you're not meeting their demands, they'll just take their business elsewhere. And it's like, all right, so what do you do afterwards? So unfortunately, it's like you have to, in some cases, be a bit of a dick against your own workers, and it's unfortunate. And it's like, it's not what we want to do, but it's kind of like where we're put in a situation. It's fucked up. It's not saying that this excuses anything, because at the same time, if you have workers working more than 12, first of all, if you're working more than 12 hours straight, at that point, I think you should really be telling people go home. Like, if you're going to be operating any type of equipment or anything, I think you're more than tired, that if you start slurring your speech, looking groggy like you're about to collapse, you should go home. Or at the very least, pull them aside and have them do something that's not going to probably make them faint if they stay up another hour, So, I mean, again, I'm just speaking from the little experience that I like to give out here and there, but you see a lot of this like micromanaging stuff, and people then, when things go to shit, or whenever people need to step up, they don't do jack shit. So it's commonplace. Hell, I go through that on a not so regular basis, but it happens.
Yeah. I still haven't been able to figure out what in the world Anna is. This pink something. I should.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't follow a lot.
I'm looking at my Twitter stuff. Yeah, we had a flyby of some people, and apparently there was a comment that someone left that I had to actually show on the YouTube side. Sorry, carbonation's getting to me. From Summer, can you please say you hate Nick Gears? A friend of mine. I don't know who Nick Gears is. Yeah, I hate Nick Gears. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's a pun in there somewhere.
Or
But
Gers, it's Gers, but it doesn't show up in my list of chat on the stream on StreamYard side. But we had a bunch of, I think they all left, but we had, while you were talking, LMP.
yeah, I saw it. No, I saw it.
Yeah, so we had Slow Jones and Human Battering Ram and Dickel. I guess they all left, but, thanks for coming by anyway, guys. People, I shouldn't say guys. Y'all. Well, I don't know. It's guys always imply it's only men.
No, but like it could be.
If y'all really left, you're really missing out because I'm just, I've been at this 3 hours, almost getting warmed up. I just posted again to Twitter the link to this unbelievable stream. I must have given short shrift. This is the other bottle. This is my last bottle of the 2017 from October, and it's actually not bad. So maybe the ones I tried, either my expectations were wrong, because it does taste more like a barley wine than it does an IPA at this point, but it's not too bad. It's actually drinkable. But I will say this, the other ones I poured had nowhere near this carbonation. Okay. The other ones I poured, and one of them, the first one I poured had been out for like a couple minutes out of the refrigerator. I actually put it in the freezer first, which sometimes is not a good idea. So the next one I put in the refrigerator, and a couple days later I got to it. I let it sit out for a few minutes and I poured it, and it was flat. I mean, it barely had any carbonation whatsoever, and it tasted like it had oxidized a lot. And then the third one, I let it sit out for like 10 minutes before I poured it, and it wasn't that good. But this one's not too bad. So maybe I just got unlucky and had a couple bad bottles. But that's the problem. When the bottles are $8-9 a piece, you can't afford to have a couple bottles that aren't good, And
right.
And this one, they used to not say how much the alcohol was. Now at the Jungle Jim's Beer Fest in the summer, so Jungle Jim's has a beer fest around Father's Day. I asked someone who actually was a rep from the brewery if it's really 16.5, and she said the government makes us put a number on it. I'll leave it there. So it could be 18. It could be maybe it is 16.5. They don't measure it. They just print it. But it used to be 18. The bottles that I used to have that had no number on it from the old days, which I don't think I have anymore. But anyway, this is 2 years old. I still have a bottle. And like I said, I think I still have Tokyo, which is 18%. So that's the stuff I ordered from Brew. Let's see. It's from Scotland. Brewdog. Is that right?
Probably. I don't know.
They recently opened a brewery in the States. Is it in Columbus? Yep, Columbus. It is Brewdog. But they did they were in this battle with this German brewery, and they did Tokyo, which was 18%. And then a German brewery did a dark, they did a Dunkel, which is dark. So let's see. Das Wort, right? Das Wort. Was ist das Wort? Können wir Deutsch lernen heute?
That's your department, late man. I wouldn't even know if that's correct or not.
Let's see. No, können wir heute Deutsch lernen? Can we today learn German? Das Wort. Yes, the word. Das Deutsch Wort für heute ist dunkel.
The German something is all like
the German word for the day is dunkel. Dunkel. Or most people say dunkel. That means dark.
Dunkel.
So you have Dunkelweizen. So you didn't see my last beer review that I posted Friday. I actually spoke German in it. My daughter looked at me and started laughing. My daughter, Kellogg's, is actually in that one. It's the last one with her.
I saw the thumbnail. I just haven't gone around. So
hold on. Wait a minute. So all of you geeks and gamers and D-Day Cobra fans, live stream video. But she claps for it because she was doing that before Jeremy, because that's what PewDiePie does. She goes, beer review. But we did 3 that day of her birthday, and I finally got the 3rd one out. But anyway, it was a Hefeweizen from Hofbräuhaus München. In München steht ein Hofbräuhaus. 1, 2, Sofa. And I used to think it was Wo viele Mensch geht hin und aus, but because that's what I remember from high school. But apparently that's wrong. So, more. Hold on. I'm looking up something. I'm actually not just being a goofball.
I mean, no one said you were, but yeah, sure, why not?
Wo viele Mensch geht hin und aus.
Damn, I am not gonna lie. I'm actually setting up right now because, again, I said once I'm done.
Yeah, so right there. In München steht ein Hofbräuhaus, 1, 2, Sofa. Der Lauf so manchen fassen aus, 1, 2, Sofa. Der hat so manchen braver Mann, 1, 2. That's that. I copied that and pasted that. I don't remember how it goes. But anyway, there we are. There's my daughter and I. But see here, let's go back to the beginning. Ready? Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Watch.
I'm watching.
Oh, it's not playing.
Oh.
Beer review. So anyway, there we go. I don't know if MJ's still watching, or she decided she had a need to go wash her hair. Oh, I still
MJ,
have all
are you in chat?
It says one person watching, so I don't know who the one person is. We bumped up briefly, and they, I'm guessing, who knows? Maybe these are all kendo accounts.
Maybe they.
I mean, Slow Down, Dickel, and Human Battering Ram. I don't remember. This says, "Yo, Bryon, what's up, dog?" And then they all left. By the time I responded, they were gone. I'm like, and they responded a minute later. Well, thank you very much. Even if you only came in for a couple of minutes. I mean, this is not a normal live stream for me, and I keep tweeting and I keep tagging Cecil. I mean, if Cecil would respond, I'd add him in a heartbeat to this live stream. But he doesn't know me from a vacancy. Well, he was live streaming before. The last time I checked, he and Anna were live streaming. Remember he and Anna.
Yeah. But I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure with Cecil, he's probably on a better live stream right now.
Cecil says his live streaming. So is Midnight's Edge.
Oh God! Somebody keep an eye on Pete. Joke sucks when it's not Tap doing it.
Hey.
Oh, listen, LMP has been out of his element for some time now, and hopefully, once things get stabilized, maybe I could go back to the groove and the groove of things. But until then, it's going to be a pretty shitty next couple of months. Really will be. But the money will be good, hopefully. Hopefully. Hold on. Just cracking a few spots in there. Right there. Good.
Right. All right. Should we wrap this up, or should we just try and stretch it out for another 2 hours?
Oh, God. I don't think I can last another 2 hours. And
I don't wash
2
my
hours.
hair that often. You're like my wife.
Hey, yo. Oh, never mind. I don't wash my hair that often. No, that's not. Okay.
Oh, so
she's
MJ's still here. All right. Well, at least somebody's
listening. Probably
listening.
keep her entertained for another.
So, MJ, should we call it a night, or should we? You give us more things to talk about.
All right, MJ. I'll let you. Lake was basically saying either pick the next topic or he's calling it in the night. He has to go back to the old folks' home.
I can still go. I still got this much beer, and I got Jameson if I really get bad.
Listen, knowing you, you'll be up all night on drunken. Oh, all right. She didn't respond. Let's go. No. I'm not your wife. Hello. Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what the heck that means.
Okay.
Oh, because I said my wife doesn't watch. She doesn't wash her hair every day, but she's also not like hitting the gym or doing that. Well, she walks the dogs in the morning.
I think she was referring to the last, like going on for another 2 hours.
Well, Yeah, I'm kind of out of ideas.
I mean, you've been talking like for about an hour before I even got on, so maybe hour longer. I think it was at least. I know this much. I've been on the stream at least half of the total time. So, but honestly, I think you've already covered all the stuff that. I mean, I kind of got here late, so you already covered a lot of topics before I even got here. Eloise said, "You're like my wife." No, I'm not. Oh, okay, that's what she meant. So there you go, late. She's saying that you're.
All I'm talking about is how often she watches. I mean, I take a shower every day, so but that's because I'm a man. And when I hit the gym, now normally when I work out in the morning, if my hair's not too bad, I just go to the gym. Especially when I was getting there at 5:30 in the morning. It's only me and some other 70-year-olds. They don't care. You know, I'm 20 years younger, and so I'm the young guy. Now, when I be getting there at 7:30, it's a little bit younger crowd, and I'm the old guy. So, anyway, yeah, I would love to be able to weasel my way into Cecil's live stream. I mean, I've met EVS and I've met Anna, so that those at least two of them know who I am.
Well, there you go. That you could weasel your way in now.
I'm trying. I've been tagging Anna in various chats, but she ain't responded.
They're trying.
And that picture, she actually, it's like, I don't remember her being that size when I met her in Chicago. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
Okay, well, I would hope so, MJ. I would hope so.
Yeah, my wife will like once or twice a week, but when she does, it's like she's in the bathroom for like an hour. But she has long hair. She's got, well, no, she's kind of shorter. I don't know. When we got married, my hair was down to here.
Yeah, my hair is actually around the base of my neck right now. So, yeah, I know. I have long hair now.
So, all right. Well, I guess we should just wrap this up. I had no intention of going for 3 hours, but I will say this: as I started to, before you came on, as I started to kind of wind down, wind down again, and Emily Hartridge, that's her full name, Emily Hart, what she goes by on YouTube. Well, went by. I mean, I think it's very tragic. It's very sad that she was killed in an accident, but hopefully after, we'll figure out what went wrong, and things will be better in that area in the future. Mm-hmm. But and that's what I said too. I used to subscribe to her channel several years ago. I might just go back and do it. I don't know. To me, I don't know whether to do it or not. It just feels weird. But at any event, her channel was aimed at young women for the most part, mid-20s to mid-30s, but men too, and a lot of MGTOW, I will say ass bags, had made a lot of videos. I don't want to be judgmental, but go watch their videos and you decide for yourself. And thanks, MJ, for the link, and I will definitely get one out tomorrow. I will record it tomorrow. My goal is to get it recorded tomorrow. I'll edit, and then we'll get it out because Tuesday mornings when I do the supplement reviews, and basically I tend to do a bunch of them, although I only have these packets to do now. So what I'll probably do is I'll pick one flavor. I'll give a review of the flavor and then how well I think it worked. And then the other ones I might do just kind of a flavor test as opposed to a before and after, which is how I've been doing some of these supplements. Usually with the pre-workouts, what I've been doing is I take it for a couple days. Well, here I only have samples, so I'm not going to do that. I then, because usually it's in the middle of the week or whatever, on a weekend, I hit the gym. So I do it before I go and do my workout. I usually talk about what my workout's going to be in the video when I know. And then what my thoughts were on that. And then, although the last 2 tubs, I've not done an empty tub review. I just didn't feel like doing it. I did a stimulant-free one it was 6-star. I forget the name of it. It was stimulant-free. That one was okay. And then this other one from Meyer, which is about $15 for a 20 servings. It wasn't 30. I think it was 20 or 25. for a bargain thing, it was okay. But the thing with pre-workouts is you got to understand why you're taking one. So if you're going to go run 2 miles, you're not going to take one. So we'll see. But a lot of the early ones, the last couple of years, have been way too much caffeine, and I just go into jabber mode, and my workouts actually sucks. And I can tell my voice is getting more and more slurred. It's like it's harder to talk, and I can tell. So
again, you're drunk.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not drunk. I am home. Screw you.
Well, stay home.
As I showed Pete last night.
I am silently correcting your grandma. How you correcting my grandma for? She's been dead for years.
So that's what I'll choose one of the things, and then I'll do some kind of. I'm trying to do 3 of these, and I'll get at least one edited for Tuesday morning. But I definitely send you, flavors. I showed you the flavors. MJ, were you not paying attention? So we have my fine motor skills are sucking right now. Blue Raz.
I could make a joke about sucking, but I'm so tired I can't think straight.
Blood Raz. And watermelon. So, and I did share that the website earlier, and there's other flavors. And if my heart can take it, I'll try the other one too, where it's 333 milligrams of caffeine, which will probably kill me, but I'll try it anyway. So I can't see that. Well, I told you. So blue Raz, red Raz, blood Raz rather, and watermelon. So I might try the watermelon first. So LMP, you got anything you want to say?
I mean, I've been pretty much quiet as far as topics are concerned. I know I've been following some of the stuff, and I think I heard you talking about it before I even got on the chat. Mostly with like the Blizzard and the China and NBA stuff. Yeah. That's pretty much been my focus lately, just following that, because I've been following that shit show before the protest even started. So the best that I could, and but unfortunately, like I said, I've also been pretty tired and pretty busy, so I'm just trying to like watch a little more on that, see where that's going, and I have an idea what we may potentially see in the future, but it's just enjoying has been such a fun ride. I hope Blizzard, I hope NBA, and I know those are the 2 big ones, but there's plenty more of these companies that shot themselves in the foot in the last couple of years, trying to get all woke and everything. I just can't wait to see this blow up in all their faces. So, God, what I'm going to say is for everybody out there, let's enjoy the shit show, because it's going to be fantastic.
Yep. And I'm actually chatting in the other one. I'm still trying to weasel my way in, but I don't think it's going to work.
If you do it, let me know something.
I still believe. Now, I actually tried to broach this subject with Jeff when we went. We were going to actually post Indianapolis. I don't think Ethan liked me. I think I came off very poorly in Chicago. And here's the thing. I was trying not to be like a sycophant, like a fan, like, oh my God, Ethan. Okay. Because that's not who I am. Truly the only person that if I ever meet her, I will completely fangirl out. And that is someone whose name I don't remember.
You're terrible.
I know. Redhead. Oh, shit.
Listen, don't go gaga for like I did for the last girl.
She's a bit of a lunatic, but she did the guild. Apparently, she was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is a show I never watched. I watched the original movie.
Wait,
Felicia Day. Felicia Day. That's her name. Okay. Now,
late. You're gonna hate me.
You know her.
I met her once.
Okay.
And here's what I have to say about Felicia Day, unfortunately. My opinions on her changed only about, I think it was a year after meeting her. And all because of something that was some really, really stupid that came out of her mouth.
Oh,
like I'm not gonna mention it by name, but basically one day she said, and I'm pretty sure some of you who know me already know what I'm talking about, that she saw two gamers across the street and she was afraid to walk in front of them. So that's all you need to know. That is like the dumbest thing you could say about a topic that eventually blew up and became a bigger thing.
Right. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I've heard some woke nonsense come out of her mouth, but here's the thing with Felicia Day. She's 11 years. 11 years to. Okay, so first of all, I first encountered her on YouTube with the Guild. Okay.
Okay.
And that was after they had already started to come out, and then I think they were like on Netflix or something, and then they were on YouTube. I eventually saw all the seasons. Okay, this was before I even played World of Warcraft or any of that other stuff, and I knew that's what they were spoofing. Redhead. Okay, I understand she's probably not purely redhead. She's probably more brunette. Okay, I get it, but redheads are my weakness. Okay,
I think they're everybody's weakness,
especially that deep redhead. And she's a nerd, which helped. But she's 11 years to the day younger than I am. So she has the same birthday as I do. 11 years apart. So all these things just kind of, it was like a tidal wave of all the boxes have been checked, as it were. Okay. And she is a goofball nerd. She's not a brainiac nerd. Okay, but she is a bit of a computer, gaming nerd, from the gaming aspect of WoW, where it's not, you're sitting in front of a controller, right, where you have to have the really good reflexes and stuff. And I understand her. She actually was addicted to WoW, early on, and things like that. But I first encountered her with the Guild, which was pretty weird. And later on, it's like I have heard some silly wokeness nonsense out of her. But which I understand, right? And some of that is being, Will Wheaton's another one. It's like when he was on Next Generation, we all hated him, and within the last few years, I've kind of come back to Will Wheaton from a homebrewing standpoint. He and I probably see zero eye to eye politically, but homebrewing, if he and I talked homebrewing, you talk about a nerd out. If he and I did a live stream or did a video on homebrewing, it would be the biggest homebrew nerd video ever recorded. I can guarantee, absolutely guarantee. I would actually love to do a video with multiple videos with him brewing beer, because the levels of beer nerdity we could hit would be astronomical. Okay. Astronomical. So if anyone ever listens to this, who tell Will, I want to brew beer with him, and I am 100% serious. I can't even see my screen right now because I'm really drunk, but I'm serious. I would love to brew beer with him sometime on his equipment. You don't have to do it on my equipment.
Listen, I
mean, and there's a part of me that's very jealous, because he's actually done stuff with Stone, and I've met Greg Koch many years ago. And I have over there, let's see if I can find it quickly, because I am trying to wrap up. But I have an autograph bottle. One of the few autographs where I actually wanted it. And unlike everybody else who's just standing in line and he knew me, because I actually helped get him here to Cincinnati the first time. And I actually had the distributor tell me to my face, you and some lady who I don't know, said, I was tweeting it. She wrote a letter to Greg at Stone and convinced him to show up in Cincinnati. And the two of us got his butt here. My claim to fame, if you will. And because of that, and what did I do with it? Oh, I see it. Hold on.
All right. I guess I'll just tweet on my thumbs in the meantime.
Yeah, I thought I saw it. It's somewhere, and I'm too drunk to find it. But I have a bottle of the Lucky Bastard beer, which they had, which I kind of messed around with the letters. I bought a bottle, and he signed it. And of course, everybody else had to say, "Hey, can you put it, to so and so?" I didn't have to say a word. I just handed him the bottle, and then he stood there and said, "I have." Because with the Lucky Bastard, if you've ever seen it, like the C is backwards and then the K and Y, I mean, it's all kind of scrambled. He said, "I have to scramble your name." And I said, "Yeah, okay." I thought I saw it, but it was actually the 13th. That was the 13th anniversary bottle. And somewhere I have a bottle of Lucky Bastard, never been open, obviously. So it's too brain muffin, but the letters are like he reverted it, but he didn't have to ask me who I was. He knew who I was. And it was my biggest claim to fame, right? In this moment in time. But it was cool to be able to be instrumental in getting him here. And when it was verified that he was going to show up for it, it was a beer tasting at Jungle Jim's. Here's what I'll say. On the wall of that room, it says maximum occupancy, 450 people. Okay. By order of the Fairfield Fire Marshal. I can guarantee you there were far more than 450 people. At least twice. So it was a big deal when he actually visited. And what's screwy is he's from Columbus originally, and he has Koch is his last name. So Greg, and so Jim Koch, and not the Koch brothers, not those frick heads that spend money. Jim is the guy who owns Boston Beer Company, Samuel Adams Beer, for those of you in Rio Linda. Let's see how many Rush fans are out there highlighting. I actually wanted to know he was from Columbus. I wanted a Interstate 71 thing, but Greg told me on Twitter, he said, "Yeah, we won't do it because our there's a difference of business opinion between the two companies." But it would have been an awesome idea, I think. But Jim's father worked in a brewery here in Cincinnati, and until maybe about 10 years ago, 60% of their beer was brewed here in Cincinnati in that same brewery. So the brewery shut down, I think, in the 60s, 70s maybe, when his dad worked there. And when they bought the brewery in the mid 90s and they went and toured, everything was left where when his dad was working there. When they shut down, everything was left exactly where they placed it. It was still there. It was awesome. It was pretty weird. So anyway, I don't even know what MJ's talking about now.
Don't worry about it. I think we're good.
Always correcting grammar, and just said swallowed it.
I think you're drunk.
I don't know what she's saying. I don't know what that says. SAW.
I can't even read it. Hold on.
Hey,
I think I know what she. Okay, I think she meant to say she just saw it. I think she did that on purpose.
I said salted?
No. I think she's doing this on purpose.
Right,
I think meant to say she just meant to write saw it, but she put sawed it. So
someday I actually have the I Met the Arrogant Bastard t-shirt from when he was here. And one of these days I really want to go to Stone Brewery when he's there and wear that stupid t-shirt. But let's wrap this up before I pass out.
Yeah.
Because everything over here, well, you can't see it. Geez, where is the camera?
No, Blake said it. Drunk Blake said it. Sawed it. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I think she did it on purpose.
I grew up in East Tennessee, so sometimes my speech isn't quite right like it should be. Because here's what's weird is I'm looking over this way. this way, but my
Just
camera.
remember, Cousin Mel ain't been quite right lately.
What did I say? Okay, MJ. Find out when that that thing is in Nashville. Send me the link. I'll see if I can make it.
I want to see Bryon Lake do a panel.
I do too. I'm serious, man. I don't understand how come I only have 1,500 subs. I really don't. I even asked Jeff about some advice. I'll look straight into the green light. The green light is right there. I don't think he knows how he has 100,000 subs.
Don't question it. Just run with it.
Yep. Look, my Brie Larson video from March blew up in April. Got me 700 subs.
You should do a video advising her how she can grow her ass. It'd probably give you double the subscribers.
Yeah. Well, I've done several videos like that. We'll try it again. So, all right, man. Thanks for coming by, man, and saying howdy. I don't do live streams very often. This is like maybe my third or fourth actual live stream. Thanks so much for Chris Wicks for sending the super chat. Although I didn't see it, I didn't even see it on the YouTube side. I got to figure out the super chat stuff when I'm doing stuff on StreamYard. When I was doing stuff in Indianapolis and I had Logan Michael sent me a super chat, I believe that was the first official super chat I ever got. It came up on my phone. It was pretty awesome. So thanks everybody. Share the crap out of the base URL if you like what I do and things that I cover. I wanted to cover more fitness oriented stuff. I actually want to do some interview type stuff, but I'm an INTJ. So for me to do an interview is extremely difficult. So I need some help and some pointers. Check out my Growing Up INTJ video, which has gotten some pretty good traction. If you want to know what it's like to be an introvert with an extrovert mother who thinks I should always go outside and have fun when I just wanted to read books. Go ahead, Ellen P. Say something.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Nothing.
All right.
Nothing. Oh,
all right.
Great.
I will finish this beer off in silence. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much, MJ, for staying up for so long. I know I'm slurring my words a lot. I think I can hit in broadcast up here at some point, and over 3.5 hours when I figured maybe I'll do 20 minutes. But again, let's get back to the original. Emily, it sucks that you have passed away, and I feel for your family, and I hope there is a positive light for them at the end of the tunnel. And thanks everybody, and we will see you. I don't know when I'll do another live stream. If you want me to do more of these, let me know in the comments below, especially if you're watching this after the fact. I don't know who the second person is. There's someone lurking out there watching. Thank you so much. Please click like and subscribe. It's Tick.
Tay.
Tap?
No, Tay, the AI robot.
Oh, the AI robot.
It's her. It's got to be.
And once YouTube has finished munching on this, share it on all your social media because it really helps. It really helps when people click on stuff and go and comment, leave comments, and click like. It really helps. All right. Thank you. Are we done?
Yep. And with that, Leip, I'll say good night. Thanks for having me on board. I know I've been not my A game. I've never been on my A game. What am I kidding?
Right.
But let's do this more often.
Yep. Yeah, maybe we'll figure out something. And MJ, let me know on the con, and maybe you'll get to see Drunk Leip live and in person.
And to you guys out there, MJ, Chris Wicks especially, definitely Chris Wicks, keep pursuing that. Sounds like a hell of a career path to go through. And MJ, I don't know. I thought I was going to tell you something regarding Leip and Pete, but I don't know. Just keep Pete off Midnight Edge's website or something like that.
But this way, if I make it to Nashville, be sure to get a guest pass so I can go to your gym at least one evening.
There you go.
All right. Thank you very much.
So with that,
good night.
Good night, guys. Have a good night.